everyone. Welcome to Humane Entertainment. I'm Humane, and I intend to entertain you. So, how's everyone doing today? Congrats on Starlight for being first. And also, welcome to the third entry of Ninja Gaiden for Beginners. So yeah, Ninja Gaiden has this intimidating reputation that's a very difficult franchise. Thing is though, it's mostly a case of a lack of knowledge from the player, not a pure skill issue of the player. With Ninja Gaiden for Beginners, every Monday I intend to play through the Modern Ninja Gaiden Trilogy on the easiest difficulty, Hero Mode, stacked up on Ninja Dog Mode even, and show step by step what you need to learn in order to properly understand how to play Ninja Gaiden. So we are playing Hero Mode as a possible starting point for players who aren't as experienced in action games like Ninja Gaiden, and by using that starting point, showing how it's not as intimidating as you would initially think. So I hope to break down that aura of dread that people have in starting these games. With all that being said, I think we can just jump over to the game, and yes indeed, as Starlight's saying, welcome to the stream. Alright, let's see if it picks up. There we go. Okay, so, because this is a guide, first and foremost, please ask questions about the gameplay mechanics if something isn't clear. I want to answer anything that I didn't make clear. There's a lot of things which are just naturally ingrained into me after decades of playing these games, so I may have blind spots on stuff that isn't as intuitive to new players. As for today, we are going through chapters 6 to 9. Nice. So, why 4 chapters today? Well, chapter 9, which was originally chapter 7 in the Xbox Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black, because Ninja Gaiden Sigma added the Rachel chapter, so that's 2 more chapters to bring this to 9 instead. But yeah, chapter 7, or now chapter 9, can be considered a cutoff point where people will get stuck on the boss. There's a plot reason why she is difficult as well, but yet again, it is more so about the lack of knowledge on how to beat her over your actual skill. If we ended at chapter 8, we would have ended at another Rachel chapter, which would feel a bit unresolved since the end of her chapter almost directly leads to the boss of chapter 9. I figured I shouldn't separate those 2 chapters, and besides, it's nice to have 669 on the thumbnail. But alright, let's continue where we left off with chapter 6. Oh, not Ninja Trials. Okay, chapter 6. The City of Fiends. Tyron is full of mysteries, strange creatures called Fiends, and Rachel the Fiend Hunter. However, Ryu still has no clue to the whereabouts of Doku. Yes, start making notes, everybody. Alright, so, just as a teacher senpai, well, I intend to. Anyway, just as a little reminder that, because we are playing Ninja Dog Mode, with Hero Mode on top of it, we are getting these bands, from Ayane. So what I have on right now is the Band of Wealth. The reason I have this on right now is because I want to start saving up money in order to upgrade the Wooden Sword. Right now the Wooden Sword is at chapter 3. Every next chapter you can upgrade the Wooden Sword 1 more level. Like even if you would have the money, you can't immediately buy the next upgrade until the next chapter. That's a similar case with several other weapons. For example, Lunar can only go to level 3 once you are over chapter 9, in fact. Oh, Lamp Rokabaka brings the bands back together. Hi Humane, hi Starlight, indeed, and congrats on being second. But yeah, so in Ninja Gaiden 1, there's only a certain amount of levels that you can level up your weapon at specific chapters. So Dragon Sword could only be upgraded to level 2 once we have reached chapter 3. Same case with the Wooden Sword. It could only reach level 2 in chapter 3. So yeah, how do you know this? You just have to check at Muramasa. Just go to the blacksmith and it'll be pretty clear what you can upgrade, what you can't upgrade. But yeah, our goal is to try to level up the Wooden Sword as early as possible to level 7, in order to essentially go from Magikarp to Gyarados. As for the Dragon's Claw Tiger's Fang, I'm not sure at which point you can level up to level 3, but level 3 is the max level of the Dragon's Claw Tiger's Fang, that you can usually see that just on the level at the top of the weapon there. But yeah, so yeah, that's the reason why we have the Band of Wealth right now, which we just got from Ayane. What we also got from Ayane is in fact a key. The key, which is, nope, supplies, valuables, the Lily Key. We have seen a Lily door, so I guess we'll just have to find that door again and unlock it with this Lily Key. Talisman of Rebirth. Oh, also nice to have. I guess I did waste one, I think. Did I? No, I haven't. I guess I haven't wasted one. Alright. Yeah, okay. No need to save right now. Okay, so you can either just be boring and drop down a ladder, or we just follow after Gamoth. Actually, I should not have said his name, but yeah, the raincoat guy. Elixir of Spiritual Life. Well, yeah. Let's just assume I have full inventory of everything. You could, as a shortcut, you can just jump down here as well. But let's go the intended route right now. Okay. As mentioned in the previous entries, I intend not to do the advanced combos as much in order to show how it is possible to simply use the XXX combo. Or if this guy's giving you trouble because he is blocking your attacks, here's Guillotine Throw. Again, that is X and A in order to do the wind run, which automatically makes you jump towards an enemy, and then X and A yet again when you're in range. No need to save right now, eh? We need a redeem for your save, Ghost. Nah, well, I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Famous last words. Alright. No, well, yeah. Again, I have way too many items right now, but at least it does goes to show how many healing items there actually are in this game. Okay. What I just showed there, this is the forward command in order to do a kick. That kick also breaks the black armored guy's guard. So that can also be a way to get rid of the guard, so you can then immediately follow up with a different attack, like for example forward and Y, in order to get them up in the air. And you know, when they're up in the air, that's when you can press XXX Y in order to do an Izuna drop. But I'm aware it's not something that everybody can just do immediately, because it does look like a bunch of random commands, like X, Y, X, 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 Y. But, yeah. Yeah. But, again, there's a logic to it. X, Y. That's just to get someone in the air. Essentially, X, Y is its own combo already. That's its own combo. The other half of the combo, X, 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 Y, is just a new combo where you use X in order to do rapid slashes until after the third slash you press a Y in order to do Izuna drop. And even if the Izuna drop is too difficult, you can even just keep mashing X, really. You wouldn't do an Izuna drop, but you will do Blade of Nerti, which is, well, weaker, but it's easier to do. You don't need to remember when to press a Y. Elixir of Devil Way. And map of Dwarku. Alright. Okay, I don't think... No, okay, yeah, okay, you can check it if you want, which is at info and map, because otherwise, if you press back, you would simply have the map of where you currently are. But if you want to have a little sneak peek of where you are going, well, you could just go to info and check the map this way. We know we are in Tyrone, so there's a drawbridge that brings us in this environment, so I guess we should look for a drawbridge. Alright, here are these motorcycle guys again. Again, as we did last time, this is when we use the guillotine throw in order to try to grab them and throw them off the motorcycle. If they allow it. You have to be properly in range in order to actually do it. Like if you are... There we go. If you are a bit too far away, Ryu would not do the grab. Which is why I kept doing this. Because that's the command of X while in the air. So that's... There we go. It's mostly a timing thing. Yet again, X and A in order to do this wind run, which automatically locks onto the enemy. And then, when you are in range, X and A again. Alright, what does Ayane say here? I've brought a legendary weapon to Tyron, a weapon known only by a select few. I've hidden it in a dark alley, in a location where only a ninja will be able to reach it. I suggest you find it and make use of it. Also, nice for her to give a fragrance of Dayflower. Alright, well, this does look like an alley. Well, if we go this way... I mean, it's a scarab. I wouldn't think this is the legendary weapon, right? Well, remember a different hint that she gave us. When in doubt, look at the color blue. Those things are blue. So, we can wall run, right? So, there we go. Hey, look at that. This is an odd question, but when you yoink them off the bikes, it sounds like the bikes explode. Is that able to hurt you? I think it is possible to hurt you in theory, but I feel like by that point it would have dashed right past you, and I don't think it's that reasonable for you to actually jump back in order to actually get hit by the explosion. But I think in theory, if you were somehow there in that position, I guess the explosion would hurt you. Alright, anyway, first of all, here's the legendary weapon, the Windmill Shuriken. Wouldn't it be terrible if they removed this in the next game? Anyway, so, the Windmill Shuriken. This weapon has been there since the NES Ninja Gaiden games. It's an upgrade where you will throw it at an enemy and then it moves back. Well, let's test it out. A giant shuriken with 4 folding blades. When thrown, it returns to the thrower like a boomerang. Alright? Okay. So, why do we want to have this instead of the normal shurikens? Because, after all, the normal shurikens are also infinite. Even though I have no idea where Ryu is holding all these things, but yeah, it's also infinite, like the Windmill Shuriken is. Well, mostly because the Windmill Shuriken actually has a chance to simply decapitate a person right there and then. So, yeah. If a slash wouldn't kill them, the Windmill Shuriken might kill them afterwards. So yeah, I will show that off soon. But, besides the Windmill Shuriken, we also have this thing here. I've seen this logo before, haven't I? You've seen this symbol before. Your body feels charged with energy. So I guess that's the power of Team Ninja for you. They can fully heal you. Not only fully heal you, in fact, if I use a Ninpo right now, which is a waste, technically, but there. It also, fills up your Ninpo slots. You get an achievement for finding all the Team Ninja logos. Anyway, let's appease the save ghost right now. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this one is in order to return back to the chapter if I need to, and then this one, which will be saved over by chapter 7. Okay. I think something that I never really explained, but simply just did in the previous streams. Alright, so keep in mind, if you press a certain direction, well, any direction, like left, right, up, down, any direction, while you are blocking, you will do a roll. Like this. Okay. Well, that's fine and dandy. And here's me just kinda, well, I wouldn't say it's... Does it count as mashing? I'm just constantly tilting down. You notice there is a little delay between Ryu's rolls. As if he needs a recovery thing. Okay, well what happens if you jump while rolling? Goes a little bit faster, doesn't it? Alright, so what happens if you roll right as you land. Okay, so if you want to get somewhere fast, because Ryu's horizontal speed is actually quite amazing in this game in terms of character action titles. Yeah. So yeah, it's essentially a little. I wouldn't say a combo. It's a sequence of actions, which is roll, jump, roll, jump, roll, jump, roll, jump, roll, jump, roll, jump. What's also useful about this is that during this movement, you are essentially, well, half the time you are essentially invincible, because during the roll, you are invincible. So, and considering that the jump goes so far, usually you would jump either over or away from an enemy while doing this. So, yeah, in terms of moving in a battle, this would be a very useful way to do it. And if you want to be fancy, you can just mix in some wall jumps in there as well. But yeah, that's essentially what I've been doing all this time. The reason this also works is because, well, the command for rolling is blocking and a direction. You can also do it backwards, actually. You can do a direction and blocking. There. There, you're just walking direction and rolling. Walking direction, rolling. Walking direction, rolling. Or blocking, rolling. Blocking, rolling. So that means that if you are landing on the ground, you are essentially in running animation, or in running status. So just press block again in order to roll right as you land. And that's what this is. Anyway, we were looking for the lily door. Okay. Okay. First of all, here, this is the Izuna drop, and I accidentally killed all of them. Well, no, not all of them. Okay. Okay, so just showing off what the Blade of Nerti is. Yeah, let's say we just launch them in the air and then just mash X afterwards. Well, there. That's Blade of Nerti. I simply mashed X while in the air. It's weaker than the Izuna drop, but if the Izuna drop is a bit too difficult because you have to remember when you have to press Y, you don't have to. You could just use Blade of Nerti instead and just have that as your easy access to this combo, I guess. Again, I have no idea how Ryu is opening these things. Like, yes, I'm pressing a button to interact, but how though? Alright, we could get back up there, but we have already grabbed that thing in the previous entry, so there's no real need for it, especially because, well, there's a lily key right here. So, well, lily door right here. Use the lily key. Okay. So you had all these enemies shooting you. Your best solution to that, yet again, is just keep blocking. Because Ryu somehow is able to just block bullets. So yet again, most of the time, if you just want to survive, hold block. Yeah, I accidentally did. Okay. Okay. And yet again, just to show the kick thing. Here, if he's blocking your attack, there we go. Do the kick. And then a forward Y will launch him in the air. If for some reason the forward Y is a bit too troublesome for you, oh, I guess Ayane has something to say. If the forward Y is a bit too much of a hassle for you, you can instead just keep pressing X. Like, there, and then keep pressing X. There. That's also fine too. If it's a bit too difficult for you to just remember, oh, okay, forward Y would launch them in the air. Anyway, what does Ayane have to say? Run along the wall, jump to another wall, and keep running to reach higher areas. This is the continuous wall running technique. Practice until you have perfected it. Yeah, so, oh, yeah. Thank you for that, Ayane. So, yeah. So, in case you thought this was a dead end, I guess if you returned back, Ayane would give you the hint of, hey, try this. So, yeah. Technically, we already did that by getting the Windmill Shuriken. Which reminds me, yeah, let's show off the Windmill Shuriken. Okay, so just like the normal Shuriken, if you press B during a combo, you can cancel that combo with the Shuriken throw. There. Alright, let's see how that goes in practice. There. I just decapitated that guy with the projectile weapon. Yet again. There. If the first one didn't do it, the second one probably will. That's the strength of the Windmill Shuriken. That, even though it is a bit slower than the normal Shuriken, it's a lot stronger. To the point where it actually is a killing weapon. Whereas with the Shuriken usually is not a killing weapon. The Shuriken is more so a positioning thing. Just stunning an enemy while allowing you to kind of stay in the air a bit longer. So yeah, that's the difference between the Shuriken compared to the Windmill Shuriken, which actually is a damage dealer. The door is locked. On the lock, there is a Pegasus symbol. Alright then. Guess we'll have to find a Pegasus key. Again, this annoys me, but that's not for this series for me to discuss about. Alright. Oh, well, you already hear some motorcycles. We know what to do with motorcycles now. No. Oh, okay. Sometimes they can kind of block it. If that happens, nope, just keep trying until it works. Oh, okay, what I just did, that was pressing... That was weird that the sound cut off there. Okay, what I just did, that was pressing Y on an enemy that was on the ground. This is what's called a Fiend Sealer. Usually that does a lot of damage, but it is situational because the enemy has to be on the ground before you can do that. But here I'm gonna try it again against this guy. Yeah. Okay. Here. There you go. That worked because the enemy was lying down on the ground. Either a guillotine throw would get them on the ground, or in fact, uppercutting them would also have them land on the ground. Because, well, they just flew in the air, and then they fall down to the ground, allowing you to do the Fiend Sealer, which is Y on a downed enemy. Oh, hey, there's a drawbridge here. Alright, well, we want to go to Dworku district, and there's a drawbridge. So yeah, let's try to actually drop the drawbridge, I guess. Alright. Alright, sometimes the guillotine throw is just a kill on its own. Also, just a reminder, besides the guillotine throw, you can also do the wind run in order to be in the right position to press Y and perform the flying swallow, like this. So that's also an option after a wind run. And again, the wind run, the difference between wind run and a normal jump is wind run actually has that little shockwave on the ground if you do it. The normal jump has no shockwave. There was actually a much clearer difference in the Xbox and Xbox version of Ninja Gaiden and the Ninja Gaiden Black, because then Ryu would actually get after images as he is as he's doing the wind run. Well, where are the after images then? In fact, there's a lack of after images in this one, isn't there? Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason in Ninja Gaiden Sigma they removed the after images. It is what it is. Anyway, yeah. This crack Ryu is unable to break because all his weapons are not blunt weapons. Well, okay, not big blunt weapons. I mean, he has the Lunar. But yet again, it wouldn't actually open this crack right now. Alright. So, first of all, key of Pegasus. We did find a Pegasus door somewhere. Besides that, There's a scarab over there. Ayane did just teach us to do the continuous wall run. Wall run from one wall and then jump to the other wall to keep running. Well, let's try it again. Hey, there we go. Also, reminder that you have to actually go to Muramasa in order to, well, cash in all the golden scarabs, I guess. Alright. So, there are two ways you can get to the Pegasus door. First, you can just drop down here and just circle back around, because we are, in fact, at the top of the stairs where we first did the continuous wall run. Or we can just backtrack from here and just walk back. Both are fine. I prefer to simply go this direction, if only because it's, well, feels like the path that you're meant to take. Oh. This? Oh. There. I hit him with an uppercut, making him fall, so that I can then press Y while he's on the ground. Oh, while he's on the ground, there we go. In order to do the Fiend Sealer. The Fiend Sealer is a single attack. It does a lot of damage, but again, it's kind of meant to be a finisher on an enemy who is who you have put on the ground in the first place. All right, here's the Pegasus door. Use the key of Pegasus. Well, if there's a handle. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Well, guess this should be our way into Dwarku. If you have time to worry, then wall run, right? Indeed. Okay, with that in mind, actually, you know what? Here's a little quirk that I just love to show off. There's just a little quirk in the geometry which makes this possible. Yeah, wall running. This usually would not be possible in any of the other walls. Just for some reason, the way this wall is made allows you to do this. It's completely useless. But you can do this. Alright, if you've been using arrows, you can get a refill of them here. In fact, how about we actually use the bow and arrow a little bit? Strangely therapeutic. Either way, yeah. Anyway, if you want, you can. Yeah, have the drawbridge up again. I have no idea why you would want to do that, but you can. I mean, weirdly enough, I think it is canonical that Ryu does do this, in fact. Because when we actually return here, whether we have put the drawbridge back up or down, it is up again once we return here. So I guess canonically Ryu did do this. I don't know why he would do this, but he did, I guess. Drawbridge Hill. Well, this is a hill, and it's next to the drawbridge. Makes sense to me. Alright. So, just as a reminder, even though the bow is not as fast as either the shuriken or even the windmill shuriken, it is usually stronger, and you can usually, yeah, you can also kind of aim with them if you really want to. However, these guys, the Black Spider Ninjas, are a little bit faster than your bow. There is a way to kind of counteract that with the bow and arrow, though, because the bow and arrow are actually faster if you are in the air. So yet again, here's the benefit of doing the uppercut thing. Because if you do an uppercut and then shoot them with the bow, they kind of have no way to defend against that. There. There. Like, compared to the windmill shuriken or even normal shuriken, you can't really cancel your attacks with the bow and arrow during a combo. Like, I'm gonna press X and then try to cancel with the bow and arrow. Yeah, it's a little bit too slow. Honestly, if he didn't die from the single slash, I don't think I would have hit him, really. But yeah, there. Just compare that to Shuriken. Or even compare that to the Windmill Shuriken. Not to mention, the Windmill Shuriken essentially hits twice because it hits on the way back too. So yeah, in terms of cancel attacks, the Shuriken and Windmill Shuriken are better than the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow truly are the power attacks when it comes to projectiles. Golden Scarab, alright. We should find Muramasa somewhere down the line. Alright, so you can either go this way or this way. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma, this will eventually lead to a dead end, whereas this would be the way you're actually meant to go. Back in the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden or even Ninja Gaiden Black, either direction would have been fine, actually, because this would not be a dead end. But I still like to go this direction because, well, first of all, there was a Scarab here, as well as some healing items if you need it. Yeah, as I said, it's a dead end. Although you can, at the very least, see the monastery right there, as well as some stairs. So, yeah, that's where the other path would lead you. Oh. Yeah, also, yet again a reminder, this is the counterattack. How you perform that is by pressing either X or Y during the thing of you blocking an attack, like so. If you press X with it, oh, yeah, if you block too much, the Black Spider Ninjas actually have a grab move to work around your blocking. But yeah, yeah, pressing X with the during the block. Oh, sheesh. This is pressing X, and oh, this is pressing Y. Now you would think, well, the Y seems like an uppercut. You should be able to do an Izuna drop after that, right? Not in this game. Weirdly enough, it takes till Ninja Gaiden 2 for them to realize, yeah, maybe we should actually have it be able to follow up into an Izuna drop. But not in this game. Weirdly enough, in this game, the X counter is actually better for the Izuna drop, and I'm gonna show that next. Question for the chat. What is your opinion on this game so far? Alright, what is your opinion on the game so far? Okay, but we should face another enemy pretty soon. But yeah, I am going to show how the... Oh, first of all, the door is locked and cannot be opened from this side. Well, guess we should somehow reach the other side then, because there is a bunch of chests there. As well as... Well, it looks like the same box where we got arrows from, but it looks a little bit different, a little bit darker. A lot less daunting than I thought it was at first. Good. I'm happy you think so. Okay, should have next battle. Like I said, the counter for X is actually a better way to follow up into an Izuna drop in this game than Y, even though Y actually looks like an uppercut. But here I'm going to show how you can press X for that. So, oh, yeah, okay, that was a god break move. There. I did the X counter, which launched them in the air. Well, they are already in the air, but Ryu's not in the air yet. So, I just do an uppercut in order to reach the one in the air. So, again, just going to show how... There. There, that's a way to follow up a counter into an Izuna drop. Oh, hello, Kudai's Mossflower. For it was they, what is long-lived, will never be forgotten nor die. For what dies in the heart may not in the spirit. Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, Ryu actually has already died by the hands of Doku. But I guess the spirit of the deity of sentiment wanted Ryu to keep living. So yeah, I guess that's a more literal interpretation of that. Yes, hi Kadias. Also, yet again, if you have trouble with this guy blocking your attacks, this is where the forward combo of the kick is useful. Just keep pressing X while tilting the controller in that guy's direction. Or you just hit him right through the guard, I guess. There you go. And then afterwards, he would not be able to defend against what comes next. Alright, this is how Rachel went in here. The door is locked and cannot be opened from this side. I guess Rachel decided to lock the door afterwards. Either that or someone else locked it, but I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, okay, I'm just gonna fight a little bit. I do want to show a little quirk that happens in this environment specifically. Alright, yeah. So, if you leave a Black Spider Ninja alive here, and you choose to be somewhere here, for some reason he just doesn't want to reach you. Like, I guess there's like this very weird invisible line, which he just does not want to cross for some reason. Oh, congratulations on the 15 stream streak. Nice. Good job, Kadias. But yeah, I think Starlight was the one who kind of made a little thing out of this. Shimmy, 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 shake. Run. Shimmy, 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 shake. Shimmy, 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 shake. Yeah. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's just an odd little invisible line that he just does not want to cross. Which is a good way to kind of look at how the AI kind of works, because, yeah, if he's far away enough, that's when he throws the incendiary shuriken. And if he gets too close, because he does step a little bit forward every time he throws the incendiary shuriken, that's when he tries to run in position in order to either throw the incendiary shuriken, or if you are in range and actually in the actual combat zone, I guess, that's when he will run towards you in order to try to perform all these attacks instead. Fun fact, the attack in the air, this one, that's the windmill slash, which is what Ryu is able to perform back in the NES Ninja Gaiden. So funny how the Black Spider Ninja actually did it first before Ryu, which, I don't know, implies that Ryu actually learned it by observing these guys. Yeah, new ninja has entered the dojo. Thank you for following. Gourmet-tilicious. Gourmet-tishulous. Alright, yeah. Welcome to the stream. This is Ninja Gaiden for Beginners, where I try to show the best way to get into the Ninja Gaiden franchise. Yeah, this is not the most actually skillful play of this game. It's mostly just to kind of teach people how to actually properly play this game. Because I could, for example, keep using the Zuna drop, but I can't count on people to immediately know how to perform the Zuna drop. So I will try to use moves like these instead. So yeah. Notice, however, that these Black Spider Ninjas can be kind of challenging for first-time players because of their constant attacks, like this. That along with the incendiary shurikens. Again, if you are stuck in some shape or form, or overwhelmed by enemies, wall jump, and slash. That's always a way out, if you need it. Plus, we are playing essentially on hero difficulty, so if we do reach critical health, Ryu will automatically block and dodge everything anyway. Alright, this is where Rachel started in her chapter. There's no safe statue this time, but alright. Alright, so we have motorcycles, but with 2 passengers per motorcycle now. Thing is, if you just focus on the driver specifically, or the rider, I guess, well, that will crash the motorcycle, and thus the other one in the additional seat will be launched off the motorcycle as well. And I just did the zoom drop again. Okay, let's try to minimize that. Alright, yeah, so, was that the driver? No, it wasn't the driver. Okay, so that time I accidentally grabbed the guy in the seat, but at the very least that makes it so that he can't shoot from the motorcycle anymore. Additionally, yeah, don't forget, you can still just jump on enemies' heads. So, if you just need a little bit of a breather, just to reorient yourself, you can just jump on them to keep them stunned, and usually afterwards, well, they would not be able to block your attack from the back. Alright, you are starting to get a bit annoying. Alright, that works too. Alright. Well, these are the same dinosaur fiends that Rachel attacked earlier, or killed earlier, in fact. Alright, so, first of all, it's not necessarily a boss. Still, the same principle still applies as if you would fight a boss. Just first, before you try attacking them, how about you observe them a little bit first. They are not that fast until they use those roll attacks. And again, this is hero mode, so you will automatically dodge everything now. But yeah, you can just use these attacks in order to damage them. But the best way to fight these guys off is actually, in fact, to try the Blade of Nerti, which is XY to get in the air. And if they actually react to it, there we go. They don't get launched, but you are essentially in position to hit their heads. Yeah. So yeah, even though you're not launching them in the air, it is kind of the same principle. Worst Twitch name of all time.
So what exactly are you?
Well, I mean, it's fine. It just took some struggling, but it's fine.
My strength comes from training, not from some curse in my blood.
Are you so sure of that? I was convinced once that my blood was pure, but then I saw what my pure blood was capable of. I watched as my twin sister was cursed and twisted into a greater fiend. Now I know the path I walk is narrow.
Doku.
I think my
He led her down the path
computer had a bit of
and she
trouble
succumbed.
with Twitch also being on.
Destined to live forever, slaves to the forces of evil. And there's only one way to release them.
To kill them.
That's why I became a hunter. To kill my sister. To kill Alma. Beneath this monastery, there is...
Have I mentioned this is a Japanese game? Alright. Just to be clear, there is no real time limit. Like, you can just take your time trying to fight against this guy. But yeah, again, try to observe. But then again, I am getting attacked here. You know what? I should use these rice balls that Ayana keeps giving me. Just for the heck of it. But okay, the tentacles, you cannot actually block them. Like, it just goes right through your block. The best way to get, to attack this guy is, in fact, the Flying Swallow. In order to cut off those tentacles. Like this. Like, This is when the wind run, yet again, is pretty useful. Because, well, that way you are sure that you are indeed moving in that direction in order to properly use the Flying Swallow. So, once you have cut off the tentacles, that is when you can just do any moves in order to keep damaging him. If you want to speed up the cutting off of the tentacles, you can in fact do a Flying Swallow and then cancel the Flying Swallow with the Windmill Shuriken. Essentially, give you 2 hits instead of 1. So, like this, Flying Swallow, then Windmill Shuriken. And as an addition, you can even press Y again in order to do the stab to the ground thing after throwing the Windmill Shuriken. So, yet again, Flying Swallow, and then the Windmill Shuriken, and then Y. Yeah. And also, note that he was dropping essences with those tentacles. You might as well just use that to charge an ultimate technique.
Was that a fiend as well?
I assume so, Ryu.
I've never seen one like that before. Something strange. So many of them.
Ayane. Running errands for Mirai again, I see.
No, it was a friend. How dare you, Ryu? Yeah.
The boldness of the Fiends is the work of the Dark Dragon. It is a cursed blade, bestowing an unfathomable strength on those wicked enough to wield it. As we speak, its power is growing.
That would explain the stirring in my blood.
Blood. It dominates all humankind, assisted by the power of the Fiends.
Ayane, take care of Rachel.
Understood.
Ryu, I've heard there is a hidden path under the monastery that leads to the Emperor's palace. Doku will also be there.
Guess we should find the underground then.
Gamoth. So the Dark Dragon grows in power with each killing.
Yes, now we have officially heard his name,
There is no
Gamoth.
doubt, My Excellency.
Then I have arrived just in time.
Yes, My Excellency. As always, I provide you with only the most reliable information.
The blade grows stronger and faster than I had expected.
Alright, well, this Excellency, as Gamoth is calling him, seems to be planning something. Question for the chat. Were you aware of this game before this stream? And yet again, I think the main thing that pretty much prevents me from getting any higher ranking is pretty much at the time, because I keep taking the time to explain everything. Like, yeah, lesser ninja even, sheesh. I never figured that time was that much of that much of a factor to the ranking. It is said that there is a secret path leading to the palace of Zarkon underneath the Dwarku Monastery. It is said. Rachel said it. You can just give the credit to Rachel, Ryu, or if this is Ryu that is writing this. All right. So, this is where Rachel had that Fiend challenge, or ambush, as the trophies in this game is calling it. Only this time, well, it broke, the wall broke because of the Hydracobus. That was the monster, the Fiend that we just attacked. Also, these chests weren't there. Lively gods, alright. And a Great Spirit Elixir. Maybe I should have used the Great Spirit Elixir instead of the... Well, no, let's... Ayane worked so hard to make these rice balls. We should have the common decency to actually eat them, you know? Alright, so, yeah, so this was chapter 6, so this is the start of chapter 7, and now I'm making another save, which can be saved over by chapter 8. Alright, so yeah, we have been here before as Rachel, but this is the first time that Ryu is here. Alright, so besides these bats, there are now also these drones. You cannot block the lasers. I mean, if you time it, you can essentially roll through them. But yeah, the best way to dodge them usually is to jump over them. But the Windmill Shuriken is pretty useful against these guys. And if not the Windmill Shuriken, the bow and arrow would also be a good choice against them. Oh, right. We haven't upgraded the wooden sword in the previous chapter, haven't we? Well, that means the wooden sword should be able to be leveled up twice now. I see I found more scarabs. Let me see. Here, I'll give you this in exchange. Okay, this should be because we gave him 5 scarabs. Anyway, the armlet of potency. Alright. Today you have brought me 6 scarabs, which brings the total number that you have given me to 9. Alright, so first of all, the wooden sword, 10,000. We have 10,000. We don't have 20,000 though. Alright. Let's see. There is going to be an encounter. I think it should be in this chapter, in fact. There's going to be an encounter which makes it very easy to start farming yellow essence, in fact. So, at least we got that. But we do have enough to get the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, so... Alright. The Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang is now officially at level 3. And that should be it right now. And you know what? Just to show off the weapon, I guess. Alright, so... Compared to the other weapons, Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang is probably the one with the most amount of combos. It looks intimidating, but really... The best combos of Dragon Claw and Tiger's Fang are things that the Dragon Sword could do. Like, for example, XY, XXXY, which is Izuna Drop. It's essentially the same thing here. But yet again, you can only do the slashes in the air if you actually hit someone with it. But yeah, that is still one of the best combos of the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. So, this is personally the reason why I still prefer the Dragon Sword over these dual katanas, even though they are cool. It's mostly just to show off, really. Still, might as well show off at this point. Alright, we fought these before as Rachel, but not as Ryu. I think during Rachel's chapter I mostly just showed how her rolling over enemies thing is powerful against these guys. Ryu doesn't have that though. Well, I mean, granted, he has the guillotine throw, so that's still an option against these Shadow Fiends. That's the Shadow Flare Fiends are the names of these guys. But, okay. Compared to the MSAT soldiers, the ones in white and black and bluish, purple-ish, these guys are actually easier to launch in the air, generally speaking. So, there. Like I said, the Izuna Drop is essentially the same between this and the Dragon Sword, which is still the best combo for this weapon. One thing that this has that the Dragon Sword doesn't have, though, especially because it's level 3 now. In fact, is it because it's level 3? Come to think of it. Let's check. There's a lot here, isn't it? Alright, come on. Just looking for a specific one. No, while jumping. While jumping, while jumping, while jumping. While wall running, while on a wall. Okay, it is because it's level 3. Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm doing now was not possible in the previous levels. But essentially, it is you jumping off the wall. Okay, this is what it was originally. Jumping off the wall. Okay, so just the same as with the Dragon Sword. With level 3, you can add an additional Y attack afterwards. So that is also an option now. Like, if the first attack did not hit them, usually the second attack will. So yeah, that's also an option, especially now with level 3 Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. Maybe I should use Ninpo more often just to actually show the possibility. You know what? Every time when I happen to, yeah, when hero mode happens to activate, I will just abuse Ninpo just to show that, well, you essentially have infinite Ninpo. Might as well just use them. Corpse of Ninja. Killed before he was able to complete his mission. He is holding something. Map of the Monastery. Alright, well, here's the Monastery, so might as well just use the map. If you want. Unlock the door. It can now be open from both sides. So, yeah, here we are at the entrance again. The Monastery Plaza. With an additional fight against these guys. Oh yeah, counterattacks are different depending on the weapons. So, for the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, instead of kicking them in the air, the X counter is this. Just 2 slashes, like this. So what is the Y counter? This. So none of them are a good... Well, okay, technically the X one is good to follow up with a Izuna drop, but mostly because the enemy is stunned as a result. Okay, alright. Okay, little detail that I like in this game. The music here actually has a little bit of an echo to it because, well, it's a hall kind of thing. There's gonna be something that's gonna happen in which the echo actually disappears, which I just like as a little detail because it's just the music, but just adding an effect to the music, which I think is a cool thing. Anyway, if you haven't been using the smoke bombs or if you have been using the smoke bombs for a while, you do get... I thought there would be smoke bombs here. Interesting. Maybe that's just Ninja Gaiden Black. Alright, well, yeah, sometimes there are chests which simply have smoke bombs in them. But yeah, I haven't been using the smoke bombs a lot. Okay. So, these monks, these Grim Reaper guys, they are essentially constantly in the air. So, you can't actually just kind of skip the whole launching them in the air part for the Izuna drop, even though you can't Izuna drop them, but still you can do the combo in the air by just jumping towards them rather than doing the whole launching thing. Like, oh. There. Because again, the Izuna drop is essentially 2 parts, two combos glued together, which is X, Y, in order to get you and the enemy in the air, and then X, 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 Y while in the air, which is technically 2 combos which are glued together because of the status change of grounded to aerial. Well, you can still just skip the middleman because this guy is always in the air, so just jump in his direction if he doesn't teleport spam all over the place. There. Oh, yeah, okay. If you do a powerful attack against these pillars, you do break these pillars, which is kind of funny that they added that little... There. Kind of funny how they added that little detail. But yeah, Ryu doesn't have the grappling hook thing that Rachel has, so he won't actually be able to swing off these chandeliers. Which is kind of funny because in Ninja Gaiden 4, Ryu does actually start with a grappling hook. In fact, the grappling hook actually originated from a Game Boy, a Game Boy Pocket game, which is Ninja Gaiden Shadow. And there he used the grappling hook to reach the ceiling. It's not the same one from Ninja Gaiden 4, as far as I know, but yeah, it is a fun little thing where technically it's been there since the Game Boy game. Alright. An altar that looks like it was made to display some sort of holy relic. On it, a message is written. Those without faith shall be doomed to wander these depths forever. Well, we do want to be in some kind of underground area. And, well, these depths seem to be something of the effect. Alright. Okay. This is the library where Rachel's chapter ended. But there was a place where Rachel could not get to because she could not wall run. She can wall jump, but not wall run. Ryu can wall run. That means that he should be able to get past that, where Rachel was unable to. And again, if the counterattack is a little bit difficult, you don't have to use it, but it is pretty useful because it usually leaves the enemy defenseless afterwards, thus allowing you to essentially follow up with any of the other attacks. You can still launch them in the air if you want to, but again, it's kind of not necessary with these bugs. Alright, unlike Rachel, Ryu seems to notice some books being useful, I guess because he sees them as blue? Yeah, it's kind of odd because Rachel's been here and they weren't blue here then, but alright, well. History for Gore 1. Ever since, these monsters have come to be known as Fiends. The majority of them are mutations of human beings existing in a condition of living without a soul due to their corruption by evil. That's the entire book, huh? Okay. History for Gore 2. However, the extraordinary power of the Fiends is incomparable to that of humans. In fact, the highest level of Fiends exists in a state that can only be described as having transcended physical boundaries of form. Looking back through the pages of history, it is quite probable that many of the most powerful members of the Gregorian ruling class in fact belong to this classification. It is not surprising then that the Fiends have been seen as gods. History for Gore 3. It is said that sometimes Fiends may rise up from dead bodies. In fact, there were many monks of the Vigor order during the Middle Ages who labored for years to recreate this phenomenon. Alright. So, there's been some monks who've been rising from the dead, I guess. Alright, interesting. If you haven't had enough elixirs, you could grab an elixir there. Also, Ryu just disrespects all these monumental stuff. Alright. Here's a golden scarab, and supposedly one incendiary shuriken, but you immediately, in fact, get 15 of them, which is the max. Alright, shuriken with a small timer detonated explosive at the tip. Again, wouldn't it be terrible if they would remove this in the next game? Anyway, so thank you for the hydrate. Okay, but there's also this shiny thing in the middle here. Stone tablet. Right, alright. So yeah, we have the top and we have the right one. So all that's left is the left one. Oh, more books, more reading. History of Gore 4. The vast majority of records dealing with the Fiends date from the Middle Ages or earlier. During recent times, the Fiends have greatly decreased in numbers, so much so that for a member of the general Vigorian public to come into contact with a Fiend has become an extremely rare occurrence. So yeah, the people of Vigor, it's actually kind of a rare thing for them to actually realize what actually is a Fiend, if only because usually they would be kind of underground and all that. Emperor, Lord of all creation. The Vigor Emperor is the figurehead of the commoners, and his absolute authorities as the holy leader of our Vigorian order cannot be denied. He controls all, physical and ethereal, regardless of time or place. Maybe we should meet this Vigorian Emperor, whoever that could be. Yeah, so yeah, Rachel was reading this, but I guess Ryu is not interested in this. But as I said, Rachel is does not have the ability to wall run. Ryu can. So that means he can reach up here, which Rachel is unable to. Golden Scarab. Alright. We should see Muramasa again for the Golden Scarabs. Anyway, so, the crack looks like it can be widened with a strong impact or small explosion. Okay, well, there's an explosion. With that in mind, well, every time we've seen a cracked wall, we could just return back to them and use these incendiary shurikens on them. Alright, well, again, I just automatically use these advanced combos like Izuna Drop. But yeah, it kind of goes to show the Izuna Drop is still pretty much almost the most useful combo to learn. Just learning to get someone in the air and then doing the attacks while in the air, because usually enemies would not be able to hit you while you are in the air. Still, the basic combos. Okay, if there's a red essence floating around, I usually take that as a permission to use a Ninpo, because it gets, yeah, you pretty much fill up the Ninpo meter afterwards anyway. But yeah, usually on hero difficulty, combos like these, like just X on the ground, it's fine. Like, it's not the... you are still essentially defenseless against... Well, I wouldn't say defenseless. You can still block afterwards. But still, it's usually not as efficient as being in the air by an Izuna Drop. But on hero difficulty, you should be fine most of the time. Alright, so we are above this hall here. But, yeah, so as long as we don't fall down, just be careful about falling down, we should be fine, and just grab all these things. And even so, Ryu kind of has some edge detection, actually, because if you actually walk down, he will still hang over it first. Really, the biggest issue is if you actually jump. If you jump, that's usually when you are more at risk of falling down. But yeah, if you're even running at an angle, like, you would think you would fall, but no. As long as you are essentially kind of at an angle, Ryu will either stick to the ground, or if you are tilted a little bit too far, that's when he just hangs from it. Alright. Again, a lot of times, I pretty much have a full inventory of all these healing items. Still, it is nice for players to know that all these healing items are there. We really should meet up with Muramasa again. We definitely have enough to reach 10, which would be the threshold for the next reward that he would give us. Great Devil Elixir. Right, okay, so we have the Elixir Devil Way, which just fills up one key slot. The Great Devil Elixir, similar to the Great Spirit Elixir, the Great Devil Elixir just replenishes all of Ryu's ki. So I find it interesting that it says a spiritual elixir that replenishes Ryu's ki power greatly, because yeah, the Great Spirit Elixir, it says that completely heals Ryu's wounds. I feel like it should have been more clear that, yeah, this would also completely fill up all the key slots. Monk's Room, alright. A diary written by a monk. It is the 27th day of the 12th month. I have received the Book of the Eons as a birthday gift from His Majesty, the Emperor. It's a great honor. I shall place it in the safe so that no one will take it. At the end of the entry, there are notes reading left, right, right, left. I wonder what I'm supposed to do with this information. Oh, look, a safe. Okay, a safe can be opened by dialing the correct combination. Here's the funny thing, you don't actually have to remember the numbers. as long as you remember the directions, that's actually more than enough. Because, okay, so it's left, right, right, left. Keep going left. I didn't even press anything. The moment you reach 2, it just lights up. Alright, so that's the moment when you go right. There, alright. So we have to go right again. Alright, and then we have to go left, right? Yeah, so even though you can remember the 27th day of the 12th month, etc., you can remember that if you want, but even then the game is actually pretty lenient on you just only going by the directions. Book of the Eons, alright? Okay, let's try out some other weapons instead of... okay, no, not the wooden sword. There's no real use for the wooden sword right now. You know what? Let's just show the nunchucks again. Again, the whole thing with the nunchucks is try to keep the combo going. Just keep pressing X with some Y in between in order to do this attack. And yeah, your attacks are kind of constant this way. And the enemies would... What a shitty save, sir. Yeah. Alright, but yeah, just... You don't even need to remember the combo. Just keep pressing X. You keep pressing X and just put triangle in between. As long as you... Triangle. Press Y in between. As long as you press Y before Ryu does the last one. This one. Yeah, as you noticed, that last one is a lot slower compared to the rest. So, try to press Y before Ryu does that uppercut. Of course, the thing is, the nunchucks don't have a lot of things in the air. So usually a sword would be better against these flying monks. Speaking of which... Alright. Also, we have incendiary shurikens, right? How about we just use them? There. You just throw an incendiary shuriken at them, wait for a few seconds and it explodes. Usually they would not have much of a defense against the explosion. Okay, so we have the Book of Eons. On the cover, a message is written. Offer up this book on the altar. The stair will open leading to the Hall of Eons. Well, we have an altar right there. Now, sometimes the incendiary shurikens do kinda... Well, just through the collision, it just passes right through the enemy and thus it won't explode on them. Still, it's still pretty powerful compared to even a windmill shuriken. This is actually more powerful than a windmill shuriken, but that's probably why the incendiary shurikens are a limited resource, like the bow. But, yeah, like the other shurikens, you can cancel your attacks with the incendiary shuriken. Like, there. In fact, here's a... I don't know if it's possible with this guy. Let's see. Oh. No, you can't really jump off the head of this guy, can you? Okay, guess not. Well, okay. I think there should be an enemy for me to test out something pretty soon. After a little sequence, let's just say. Alright, well, looks like a way to go to the underground. Guess Ryu had to think about it for a second. Alright, first of all, these... Well, I mean, yesterday I did play Fatal Frame. I guess spirits just have many forms. To be fair, Fatal Frame 1 actually did have a ghost that essentially forgot its own image and essentially became a smoke-like thing like this. Anyway, similar to the bow and arrow, or similar to the arrows, sometimes you do find dead ninjas who are just carrying incendiary shurikens. And similar to the arrows, you can just refill infinitely with them. Most of the time, you just see them holding the incendiary shuriken. That's kind of your sign that that's how you can refill your incendiary shuriken. Anyway, here's another golden scarab. And a map of the underground cemetery. Yeah, so if you need a little idea of how this underground cemetery is, here you go. Well, the camera obscure does nothing. During the white flash, Ryu slashes the spirits. That's okay, so that's what happens. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, yeah. A large boulder, chiseled into the shape of a human face. Its base seems quite unstable. Somehow this situation seems familiar. Anyway, the crack looks like it can be widened with a strong impact or a small explosion. Well, here's a small explosion. I don't know if this music is doing it correctly. Maybe it should go a little bit more along the lines of da 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 da. Yeah, somehow that tune seems to feel a bit more fitting, is what I'm saying. Anyway, just keep running towards the camera. Eventually, you'll escape this head of doom, this face of doom. Why? I don't even see the boulder. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should have gone a little bit slower. Come think of it. Oh well. Anyway, here's a great spirit elixir. So, no more of this item can be carried. I know for a fact it is very unlikely I am going to return here. So, why not just use it, grab this, and just continue on. Anyway, time to use Ryu's camera obscura, aka his sword. Question for the chat, is this kind of game you would play? Okay, there's a whole platforming section. You really don't need to do much platforming, really. Like, okay, this is the intended way. Just, it would be now. Hey, go. Anyway, yeah, you could just keep going this direction, doing the intended path and all that. Speaking of which, I might as well just... Yeah, the windmill shuriken is actually pretty useful against these ghosts as well. So it's not a camera, but it's... seems to work pretty fine. Oh, if Ryu properly hits it. So yeah, this is the intended way, by just going this little platform section. However, if you just know the layout a little bit, like, just gonna start back where we came from. There we go. Yeah. So, this is where we came from. You can also just look with the camera a little bit. Just keep jumping down. Like, what's stopping you from just jumping down? Well, as long as you don't jump into the middle. Once you jump in the middle, usually that will make you miss all the platforms and you will die instantly because it's essentially a bottomless pit below this giant dragon-like bone thing. But if you just know to just try to land on that platform over there. There you go. Like, sure, you could just could have gone through the whole platform section, but really going down this way is pretty much the most efficient way to get through that whole thing. Yet again, the Windmill Shuriken, just cancel your combo with it. Like, if the combo itself did not kill them, the Windmill Shuriken usually would. And if the Windmill Shuriken didn't kill them, well, another triple slash combo would probably be enough. There. See? An old, decrepit altar. It must have been actively used for worship in the past, but now it is covered with a thick film of dust. Alright. Alright. So these guys. Usually, if they are a little bit more at your level, because right now they are a little bit, they were a little bit high up because they were waiting on me. But a good solution against them is actually Nunchaku. Because just kill like a few of them, and then use the ultimate technique against them. Because the Nunchuk actually does a good job hitting a lot of those enemies at the same time. So yet again, there. Not only is this useful against them just to beat them, but remember how the essences released by enemies defeated by ultimate techniques, they are, well, not even doubled. It's actually, like, it's multiplied quite a lot. Which means, if you make sure to hit as many of these enemies with the Nunchuk's ultimate technique, usually that would give you a lot of money in return. Which would help a lot in saving up for the wooden sword upgrade. Alright. That said, I did immediately jump down there. Okay, first of all, there's this thing here. Not a golden scarab. Okay. Okay, we will eventually have to backtrack again. So, that would kind of necessitate you doing a little bit of wall running and platforming to get up there. And sometimes you can miss like that. Well, here's an easy way to do it actually. Because you can do the wall jumping here, get up here, and instead of going the circle here, you can instead just wall run up here and wall jump. There. It's a lot easier than the other way. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, that you could do the whole platforming thing, but a lot of times you can just do a more simplified way to get up there, get up here. But yeah, for now, we do want to go down right now, trying to find this path to Zarkon. Yeah. Okay. Just to show, we are on top of, or on top. We are below that bone dragon thing. And yet again, the Windmill Shuriken is pretty useful against these wisps, ghosts, whatever. Ryu does seem to aim better if he's in the air than if he is on the ground. So, another thing to keep in mind. In fact, a lot of times, being in the air seems to be better than being on the ground. That's the general gist of the combat system. Okay, but let's switch back to the Dragon Sword. Okay. And again, if the Zun drop is too much of a difficult thing, start using the Windmill Shuriken to cancel your combo. That seems to be an easier way to get through these fights if you have trouble with combos. Because that's just a case of pressing B anytime during your combo. Yeah. Sure, you can still get attacked compared to the Izuna drop where you are in the air. Still, this is always an option. Anyway, I have no idea how Muramasa was able to make a statue here in this hidden underground, but okay, at least we can buy some stuff from him. I see you found more scarabs. Let me see. Here, I'll give you this in exchange. Life that was cost. That's nice. Alright. Today you've brought me 5 scarabs, which brings the total number that you have given me to 14. Alright, well, would be nice if we got 15 in order to get the next thing, right? Well, that's a funny thing, really, because Muramasa is searching for all these golden scarabs. There's one right here. Like, he made the effort to make a whole statue in here. He did not check over there that there was a scarab this whole time. I see you found more scarabs. Well, one more scarab. Here, I'll give you this chest. Yeah, so we reached 15. Every 5 scarabs, he gives you something. Spirit of Devils. Alright then. Today you've brought me 1 scarab. One scarabs. Which brings me the total number that you have given me to 15. More evidence for my theory that he leaves them for Ryu to find. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, so I've shown this before in the previous entry, but yeah, Spirit of Devils, it gives you another key slot to use Ninpo. So now we have 3 instead of 2. It isn't filled up yet because that's how it starts. But at the start of every chapter, you do get a complete refill of your key. You know, that might, maybe I should, just for the fun of it. So yeah, that's also an option that the characters of Fatal Frame would appreciate, just having the ability to just shoot fire from your hands.
So, to bring everything back to where this essay/ramble/love letter to Ryu Hayabusa began.
Alright, what about? Now I'm curious, what am I supposed to ramble about? I might as well, whatever I ramble about, I might as well just do it while this elevator thing goes on. About the difficulties. The difficulties, alright. So, you know what, yeah, I think I can do it while this is going on. Yeah, so just press it with an attack that goes downwards, like this. Anyway, the difficulties. So, why should you play these games that have quite a difficult, yeah, why would you play challenging games like these? Even though, as I said, it's mostly a case of finding information, finding proper information to use all these things rather than skill. But yeah, why play challenging games? Why even go past hero mode? Why not just play? Why should we play normal difficulty or hard difficulty or very hard difficulty or even Master Ninja mode? Well, I think personally I like playing difficult games because it essentially incentivizes me to actually learn the game. It's like I am meeting the game halfway. Like, okay, the game is giving me this power fantasy of being this overpowered Ryu Hayabusa ninja who can do all these moves. He can do the Izuna drop. He can wall run and wall jump and all of that. He gives me that, but it wants something from me in return. It wants me to properly learn to actually control him. It's like a contract between me and the game. As if the game gives me the power fantasy, but it wants me to work for that power fantasy. So that when I actually am skillful enough with it, it actually feels like I earned that power fantasy. And sure, you could also just play an easy game where all you have to do is just press X and eventually you will kill everything. Okay, well, in story, yes, indeed, the character is powerful. But I don't feel that they're powerful. I just see, okay, the game is telling me this character is powerful. That's fine, I guess. Because of challenging games like these, where it's Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden, it feels like I earned to actually have the power fantasy. I earned the right to actually experience this power fantasy. So that's the reason for that. Granted, each of these games also have easy difficulties. Devil May Cry 3 has an easy difficulty. Ninja Gaiden has an easy difficulty. So if you simply want the power fantasy, that's fine. You can have that. In fact, that's why I'm showing off what Ninja Gaiden for beginners, that hero difficulty allows you to pretty much blaze through the game as is, as long as you just know how you're supposed to play it. But personally, I prefer to play even this game. I actually prefer to play on hard difficulty instead of normal difficulty, because it actually feels like I'm trying to properly experience the story as I'm supposed to be. I actually feel like, oh, these enemies are threats. They are nothing to Ryo Hayabusa, especially an experienced Ryo Hayabusa, but I know they are a threat. So it helps me experience the story. Is kinda my reasoning for playing difficult games. Should that be everybody's reason? No, but it is my reason. Okay, here are the Figorian flails. So, the nunchucks don't have... love it. Thanks. Alright, so the nunchucks don't have a level 2. But essentially the Figorian flails are the level 2 of Figorian flails. I don't know why they did it this way. Like, they could have easily just made it so that the nunchaku had 3 levels, where leveling it once would give you the Figorian flail, and then leveling it twice would give you the level 2 Figorian flails. For some reason, they chose to make it that you start with nunchaku, and then you can just find the Figorian flail, which essentially is a better nunchaku. Now there's no reason for you to actually use nunchaku at all. So it's an odd little design quirk, because I know for a fact they can change the properties of the weapons if they want to. Like, they could have just made you start with nunchaku, upgrade it to level 2, and the name changes to Figorian flail. I know they can do that. So yeah, it's just an odd little thing here of how they dealt with this. But yeah, consider this a free upgrade to the nunchaku, because everything the nunchaku can do, the Figorian flails can do too. In fact, it actually has more abilities than the nunchaku, because remember that the dragon sword has the whole flying swallow thing. This weapon actually is nunchaku with a flying swallow, which I'll show off pretty soon, because we are about to fight some familiar enemies again. Question for the chat. What do you think about the gameplay elements of this game? Right, so I've mentioned before with the nunchaku, with these enemies, just kill a few of them and then use the ultimate technique, which pretty much allows you to kill a bunch of these enemies while also getting a lot of money in return. That said, it was a little bit troublesome to kill the first few enemies in the first place, right? Well, the flying swallow of the Figorian flail actually helps with that. There, you can even follow it up with a kick afterwards. So yeah. There, okay, so now there's 2. Well, more than 2. And if you position right, you would be able to hit multiple of them. Alright, oh, well, this is the last one. Okay, so is this what I was talking about how you could get a lot of money in this chapter? Actually, after this battle, we will meet some other enemies, which are actually even easier to farm. Yeah, so they did say something about monks rising from the dead and all that. Guess these are the monks. Alright, so why are these guys very easy to farm? Well, the thing is, they are strong, but they are very slow. So slow, in fact, that, first of all, here's a... Yes, these were so difficult. Yes, well, alright, so, first of all, they are slow. So, as long as you are away from the one firing the bow and arrows, you have enough time to just fully charge up an ultimate technique. And look at the amount of essence you get in return for it. This, along with the band that gives you more money, I already have 14,000. Just wait again. I'm not even using any essence to charge it quicker, because I don't need to charge it quicker. There, I went from 14,000 to 17,000 already. Yeah, again, as long as you are just away from the one firing the arrows, you're fine. I mean, you are invincible during the auto combo anyway, so it's not like the one with the arrows can do much against you. I mean, is this a little bit tedious? Maybe, but you get a lot of money for it. And sometimes they do kind of get in range, so just let go before the second charge. Might as well just do some additional damage to it. It's also good practice to judge how far does Ryu actually dash when he does the ultimate technique. Alright, but even besides that, let's say, yeah, the one with the arrows, he would not give you enough time to do the charge thing. Well, the Forgotten Flails has this combo, which is X and then triangle in order to get in the air, similar to the Dragon Sword. Then you can press Y. I keep saying triangle, Y, whatever. The upper button. Yeah. If you are in the air, you will do this kick afterwards. So, yeah. This. So, X, Y, Y. X, Y, Y. X, Y, Y. This combo is actually very effective against these guys, because it stuns them and also does a lot of damage to them. So, there you go. That's the non-ultimate technique version of how to beat them. Not only that, the ones with the bow and arrow, they actually drop blue essence quite often. So, which gives you another reason to use the ultimate technique again. Wow. Well, yeah. Holy Grail. Alright. At least the door opened. I don't know why the door opened. They could have just kept Ryu stuck here, but alright. Holy Grail. A holy cup, once used for ceremonial purposes, it still gives off a fine glow. Alright. So, I remember I had a lot of trouble with them in enclosed spaces. Yeah, well, this is, in fact, a more enclosed space. Especially because you are... yes, right here, yes. First of all, let's try to get rid of the ghosts. Ghosts and zombies at the same time. You don't really see that combo often, come to think of it. Anyway, yeah. The reason this part was difficult is because no matter where you are, you usually are in the right position for the one with the bow and arrow to actually hit you, because it's a long hallway compared to the other one where you had cover. Well, again, that's where this combo is pretty useful. Just focus on all the archer guys. Usually they spawn from one end of the room to the other. So that's that one dealt with. Oh, it's just two even. Okay, so it's just two. Okay, yeah. After you dealt with them, all that's left are the one with melee weapons. And again, they are slow enough that you can just charge an ultimate technique instead. And start saving up money yet again. Yes, thank you. Now, I could also essentially do the same thing here with the Dragon Sword instead of Figorian Flails. The reason why the Figorian Flails actually works better than the Dragon Sword is because for some reason, the last slash of the ultimate technique, it's almost a one-hit kill against any single one of them. There. I have no idea why that last slash is that powerful, but yeah, this is why it's actually useful to use the Figorian Flail against them instead of Dragon Sword. Specifically these enemies. Yes, as well, more so especially these enemies. And again, is this a little bit tedious compared to just fighting them normally or something? Maybe, but we are trying to get enough money to fully upgrade the wooden sword. This is essentially the best way to do that. Especially in the next chapter, in fact. Well, no, not next chapter. The chapter after next chapter, because the next chapter is actually a Rachel chapter. How many? Yeah, we've reached 30,000 in the meantime. I barely tried, but here we are with 30,000. Have I done? Yeah, okay, yeah. Just checking that I did things correctly with the saving. Alright. Well, again. And also, this whole thing is also a good way to start practicing, learning the ranges of these enemies' attacks. Because I happen to know for a fact, as long as I'm here, that enemy, yeah, he would not hit me with his attack. Because all these attacks are so slow, instead of aggressively trying to attack them, study them. Just kind of look at how far is his attack compared to your roll. Because I know that if I just roll here, there, his range would not be enough to actually hit me. And, okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure here, yeah, he would not be able to hit me from there. Alright. Even with running. Okay, I know. Yeah, there. That was not enough to actually hit me. Just kind of study. Oh, yeah. Just kind of study how far those attacks actually reach. And then, in the meantime, start charging the ultimate technique. This also gives you a little bit of a practice in how long does it take to actually charge an ultimate technique. Not to mention, these guys, they actually first start off crawling out of those holes. It feels very Junji Ito, but that's neither here nor there. But, yeah, that gives you time to charge because they still need the time to actually rise up first. Alright. Also, if you also need a little bit more time to charge, you could also just use the windmill shuriken to kinda stun them. Again, because they are so slow, just being stunned will probably give you enough time as they are recovering from it to charge an ultimate technique. By the way, if you want, you can just leave right now, but at this point, I actually prefer to just kill them all off, just to get more money out of them. Oh. Well, I guess we'll have a ride back down, accidentally. Alright. Oh. Thank you for the hydrate. Now wait, back up. Might as well take the time, indeed. Yeah, maybe the reason why they... Oh, stretch. Thank you. Weird how the animation did not play, but okay. Thank you for the stretch. Alright.
Yeah, that's right. I'm stretching.
Took you a while,
You got
Sonic.
a problem with that?
Maybe
I
you're
want to
too
be able
slow.
to fully enjoy taking you apart without some pulled muscle slowing me down.
Yeah, well, thank you for the advice either way. Lol, thanks, Sonic. Yeah. Alright, but, yeah. The Flying Swallow of the... What was the official name of this attack? Because it's not the Flying Swallow. It actually counts as a different move, actually. Let's see. While... Red Hot Iron Brand. Right. While jumping towards an enemy, Y. Sorry, Red Hot Brand. That's the official name of this attack. But yeah, it's essentially the Flying Swallow of this weapon. You cannot do this. Oh, you... Yeah, so if you're in the... on the wall, usually he prioritizes the wall attack instead. But, yeah. This Flying Swallow attack... this is not possible with the nunchucks. This is something the Fagorian Flail can do instead. Question for the chat. What do you think would improve this game? Alright. What would you think would improve this game? Oh, no. Where did she throw that? I don't... It really goes to show I haven't actually played Ninja Dog mode enough to know where these extra... where all these extra kunai scrolls are. Flying Swallow is so cool. Red Hot Iron Brand sounds so lame and forceful, yeah. Right, okay. Let me just finish these guys first. Before I find where Ayane just threw that kunai. By the way, these guys are apparently too tall or too heavy for Ryu to properly use the guillotine throw, so you can't do the throw attack against them. Still, why would you want to throw them if you can instead just do the ultimate technique instead? We've ran out of inspiration for attack names. Let's just use the words from this crossword puzzle. Essentially, Red Hot Iron Brand. That's a mouthful. Yeah, again, I'm just gonna call it the Flying Swallow. Yeah, this should be the last one. Come think of it, I never actually checked these interact. Yeah, a giant chain is connected to the plate at the bottom of the shaft. It is constructed so that the plate can be lifted by winding the chain. The chain looks old and brittle, but the sheer size of it means it can't be easily severed. Alright, well, so there's should be some way in order to open this thing. Wait, where did Ayane throw the kunai? I'm genuinely curious now. Don't want to miss any advice that Ayane has to give us. Oh well, we do have enough money to upgrade the wooden sword. Might as well, right? And also, well, also Vigorum Flail. That's interesting. That means Vigorum Flail is actually one of the few weapons where you can essentially just fully upgrade them in the same chapter when you get them. That's interesting. Kunai is on the chain. Oh, thank you. Okay, but yeah, when you upgrade Vigorum Flail to level 2, it actually changes its appearance. I mean, to be fair, the Lunar did this too, but yeah. A weapon used by medieval Vigorians, it can be swung like nunchaku in combat. Alright, on a chain, you say. Oh, whoa. Wow. It's quite amazing. It's stuck to that thing. Okay. Many of the fiends are remnants of tortured human souls. The cursed blood that invests them, these lands, have given birth to them. Well, okay, thank you for the lore, Ayane. I think it's mostly just something in order to give more of Ayane's rations. Okay, yeah, so the Vigorum Flails, which are now at level 2, which is the max level of Vigorum Flails. What do we have in addition? Well, similar to the combo of Dragon Sword, where you just tilt forward during X attack, this is the same case here. Just tilt forward while you are pressing X, which adds a lot more hits, in fact. So let's see how that looks. So this is the normal X attack, which again you can cancel anytime with triangle with Y. Yeah, you can always cancel that. But let's say if you tilt the control stick towards an enemy while doing it. That's a lot more hits. And anytime while you are doing that, yet again, you can press Y in order to add an additional attack afterwards. There. Just anytime during this, pressing Y. Another additional combo that level 2 adds. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ripping Thunder. Forward, Y, Y, Y. Again, this is not an attack that the Nunchuk can do. So, what does it do? Well, first of all, what makes it useful is just look at it. That's 2 big kick attacks, which are powerful on their own, but this is in fact when using either the Band of Strength that we started with, which, yeah, increases damage done by kick and throw techniques, either having that on, or the Armlet of Potency, which essentially does the same thing, but we got that from Muramasa's Scarabs. An armlet emblazoned with the picture of a horse, it increases damage done by kick and throw techniques. Either way, there are kick attacks. They stack up the damage of this attack a lot, because these 2 kicks will end up almost being boss killers sometimes. In fact, I might as well just show it. So yeah, let's just stick to Ayane's bands because might as well. And we are in fact going to face against a boss. So let's actually show that off. Also, yeah, these guys, you know what? I'm just gonna show the problem against them. Because, yeah, these archers, they almost want to time shooting you when you are trying to jump. When that happens, you will fall all the way back down and you have to run all the way back up. Like, just gonna... Oh, okay, well, yeah. Just want to to show it off, but of course they missed then. But yeah, in terms of platforming, they can be annoying. Well, there are two solutions to that. First solution is the Incendiary Shuriken. Because 2 is enough to kill any one of them. 14 is way more than enough to kill all of them. Or, yeah, sometimes just try to jump before you throw. There. And just go one by one this way. Oh, it's just 2. I really figured it was 3, but yeah, that's one solution. I wonder if they respawn if I fall down. Because the other solution... No, they don't respawn. Okay, so if you just kill them once, you can just take your time to platform them. But if they are being a bit of a problem, you can also just snipe them with the bow from here. That's also one way to get past them. But yeah, I prefer the Incendiary Shurikens, if only because, I don't know, it feels a little bit more direct that way. Anyway, yeah, we have the Band of Strength right now, which buffs up kick and throw attacks. And now we have a new move. Now we have a new move from the Figorian Flail that are 2 big kick attacks. What would you do if you don't have any ammo anymore? Well, that's the funny thing. You can go to Muramasa, buy more arrows and Incendiary Shuriken. They are very cheap. Like, if somehow you don't have 10... If somehow you are at 0 essence at this point, it's actually kind of surprising because we've been doing the farming and all that. But, yeah, this is also a possibility. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yes. Alright, yeah, okay, shurikens are fine. Alright. Alright, in terms of the plot, we have that Holy Grail. There was a little altar which we could put something on there. So we could try that. Time to do some exorcisms again. Yeah, okay. In that case, let's get the Window Shuriken again. Fun fact, these ghosts were not in the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden Black. It's specifically Sigma that added them. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like this. It's not like Ninja Gaiden Sigma came out after Fatal Frame 5 when they essentially linked the two together. It's just kind of funny. Empty? No, not empty. It would have fought those bugs instead. So it would have been those bug enemies here instead of these spirits, I guess. Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, I wonder if something's going to happen with these big bones things. Oh, who would have thought? It's a boss. Alright, again. Forward Y 3 times in order to do the kick combo along with the Band of Strength. Look at that. Like, I could say study this boss and all that, but really, just keep using this move, and sure, you might get damaged a little bit because you're being reckless or whatever. But let me just tell you, if you keep using this move along with the Band of Strength, you are probably going to kill this dragon before the dragon kills you. Still, let's just discuss tactics a little bit. Okay, so the goal is just to destroy each of its limbs. Depending on which limb is at the front, it has the, it can rotate in any of the directions. And depending on that, that's what attacks it can do. When the head is in range, that allows it to do that bite attack. And also, every time it can just shoot its spines, which, I don't know how that works, but yeah. Otherwise, yeah, if it's the back leg, that allows it to do the tail attack. That's just a case of play jump rope. But yeah, otherwise, just use this kick attack. It does so much damage against it. Well, that's one way to open up that hole. Interesting. Water comes out of the walls as a result. Thank you for still explaining the boss. You estimate my incompetence. It's not incompetence. It's just not being informed. Again, that's kind of the gist of all of the challenge of the Ninja Gaiden games, really. Just people not really realizing what information they're supposed to have. Thank you, yeah. Greater Ninja, alright. And as I said, this chapter is a racial chapter. Yeah, this chapter was not in the Xbox Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden Black. It's a thing that Sigma added. Rachel continues searching for her sister in Vigor's capital. She is suddenly confronted by an inhuman form. Alma, the greater fiend, finally makes her appearance. Alright then. So, yeah, and we have already heard Alma is the sister of Rachel. And Rachel became a fiend hunter in order to kill her sister because that's the only way to release her soul from, well, being a fiend. So, that's unfortunate, but alright. Well, that must be Alma. Question for chat. How are you with spoilers? Alright, how are you, spoilers? Now, we could go this direction if we want to. I don't think there's anything you can get by moving back here. But you know what? Just for completion's sake. Okay, so. Also, compared to Ryu, Rachel doesn't really have much that you have to save up on. Like, sure, you can get some earrings in order to buff up your attack and all that. But you don't have something like the fully upgraded wooden sword that Ryu gets by saving up money. So, most of the time, when it comes to Rachel, you can just keep going, I guess. Not a fan of the look of a car spoiler, seems so unnecessary. Nah, that's fair. I guess maybe some people like the look of a car spoiler. As I mentioned before, Rachel does not have a wall run. She just jumps off of walls, which makes her incapable of actually getting to places that Ryu would normally be able to reach. But yeah, like I said, you don't really gain anything from going this direction. You might as well just continue on. Although, come to think of it, I don't know if I ever checked inside the monastery, because Ryu did open up the path to the underground. Pretty sure Rachel cannot actually get in there. At least she shouldn't. You know what? Just for science, I guess, let's just check it out. Also, yeah, similar to Ryu, just you can also do the whole rolling and jumping thing with Rachel. The only quirk to that is that Rachel actually has different dodge animations depending on which direction you do. So if you do forward, that's more of a roll. If you do back, it's a little more like a back step, I guess. And to the sides, it's kind of like a twirl. And the twirl gives you more invincibility frames, but it's actually a little bit slower, actually. So in terms of moving around, it's not as smooth as Ryu would do it. But more invincibility frames is nice. Okay, so yeah, we can get in here because in the previous Rachel chapter she could get in here. I guess there's an extra fight here, so there's that. Okay, what more can I talk about Rachel's thing? Because Rachel does not have a lot of things compared to Ryu. I mean, she only has one weapon by comparison to Ryu. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I already mentioned this thing, rolling over an enemy and then pressing Y in order to do that attack. There is actually a similar move that you can do without rolling over an enemy, which might be important for some enemies where you can't roll over, for example. And that would be forward Y, and then Y again. So yeah. Yeah, okay. So, the first one is like, kind of like a backhand kind of thing, like this. It's the second one that actually does essentially a grab move. So, let's see if I... Oh, now I accidentally killed it. Should be another enemy. Right. Okay, well, first let's check here. Yeah, so Ryu opened up this thing. But I guess Rachel just doesn't want to go in there. There's no prompt for it. Like, I could try jumping in it, but... Yeah, there's just this, like, this invisible wall over it. So yeah. Rachel just does not want to go in the underground, I guess. Alright. Anyway, I want to show that move, and I think there should be some enemies in this library. Oh yeah. Okay. So... Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of similar to the rolling over and then doing this. But it's mostly to get the enemy on the ground. Like this. You can even have another Y attack afterwards to do a thing similar to Ryu's Fiend Sealer. Yeah. But yeah, that's just a little thing to show off. Again, there's no real reason to actually go in a monastery as Rachel right now. Because, well, we have a sister, a Fiend sister to follow. Also, I did not save, have I? Well, okay, so, yeah, save over this, yeah. And then the next save could be saved over by the next thing. Okay, so Alma was up there and then she flew in that direction, so I guess we'll go this direction then. Funny how the gates kind of switched places. It used to be the other gate that was open. Now it's the other one. I don't know who's controlling all these gates. Alright, another reminder. Rachel has a much easier, let's just say Izuna drop attack than Ryu does, because all you have to do is just press X 3 times. And she just jumps up in the air afterwards. So just keep that in mind that it's easier for Rachel to do that than learning a proper combo with Ryu. Also, I guess a funny thing you can do with Rachel, yeah, if you twirl the control stick in 360 fashion, just if you look at my inputs, just 360 like this. Like, you can do that, and then press Y after that. Rachel will do, come on. Rachel will do, oh, no, that's a running attack. Okay. So, it does like a spinning around attack. If you actually hit the enemy with the first attack, that enemy will actually stick to the Warhammer, which is kind of funny to see, so I do want to try to get it to work. Okay, just to point out, there are some additional enemies here. These you can't really stick to the Warhammer, so just try to kill them with the grappling hook. Or if they are in range, just do an attack. There. Okay, yeah, so here's Muramasa if you need some. You know what? Let's see what does he have in stock. Okay, the earrings. Okay, so unlike Ryu, Rachel does not get gifts from Ayane. I guess Ayane just doesn't know Rachel well enough to just give her upgrades. But okay, yeah. Earrings of the Sun. Increase the wearer's attack power. Earrings of the Moon. Increase the wearer's defensive power. Increase the wearer's yellow essence absorption. Increase the wearer's ki power build up. Interesting, so Rachel could get ki, but we haven't gotten any ninpo from her yet. Also allows the wearer to charge ultimate things more quickly. Personally, I think and potency. Increase the strength of the wearer's kick and throw techniques. Personally, I think that celerity is the best one for Rachel, mostly because her ultimate technique just hits so many enemies in the same area. You might as well charge the ultimate techniques quicker. Because, sure, you could get more attack, but the ultimate technique is already so powerful, you might as well just have a quicker activation of it, rather than having more power to it. And you can just equip it as earrings. Earrings of Celerity allows the wearer to charge ultimate techniques more quickly. The normal ones are Rachel's favorite earrings, so doesn't do anything, but it's nice to see that she has her favorite earrings, I guess. Anyway, I was trying to show the 360 attack. Oh, fortunately these guys, there we go, here. Yeah, if the first hit hits them, they will stick to the Warhammer, which, I don't know, it's kind of funny to see. There's not really that much of a benefit to it, but it's funny. I guess it's good for the humiliation of it. I love funny, yeah. So, okay, so, funnily enough, the whole jumping on the wall thing, Rachel cannot do that. Interesting. Never really checked it, but yeah, okay. Corpse of Ninja, killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. So that's funny how Ryu keeps grabbing all these arrows from these guys. Yet, Rachel seems to be clever enough to realize maybe they also have something in their pockets instead of just the arrows, you know? And she actually finds the elixir in there on their person instead of just the arrows, because what's she gonna do with the arrows? Well, Rachel did get introduced killing one of these guys, so it only makes sense for her to fight them. Okay, so, this is what happens if you try to roll over these enemies. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a lot less interesting how it keeps working now. Yeah, because you did notice at the start, it felt like Rachel bounced back as a result. Yeah, that's what happens if it doesn't really work out. Yeah, like this. Yeah. So sometimes, I guess they kind of have a passive defense against it. So you can't really count on that move. Well, this is why I talked about the forward Y attack, because that does work against these guys. Yeah. To be fair, in terms of lore, I think, does it say? Yeah, a Fiend Hunter's weapon, the Warhammer is suitable for taking the heads off of Fiends. Well, okay. This weapon is essentially made to kill these monsters, these Fiends specifically, so it kind of makes sense that that would work. Maybe the corpses are easier to loot because there aren't that many arrows in the way. That's fair. Ryu did take 15-ish arrows from them somehow, even though you only see like 3 on the person. Alright. If the rolling does work out though, you can still use the Y attack. There. Well, it doesn't become the grab attack, but you do essentially reach on landing status, which means you can immediately charge an ultimate technique. There are no essences here around, but that's something to consider. That Rachel's rolling over ability gives you on landing status. Alright. Alright. Blades of Ouroboros. Oh, suddenly she gets 1 key slot. Yeah, so sorcery. She doesn't have Ninpo because she's not a ninja, so she uses sorcery instead. The spell fuses the power of flame and lightning to create rays of light that cut through enemies like blades. Sounds interesting. We should test it out then. Alright, so we could take the long way, because we know that's how we can reach Tyron again. That said, Rachel, compared to Ryu, actually has a blunt weapon, doesn't she? That means the cracked wall over there, Rachel can actually break it. There we go. So, with Rachel having broken this, that means it's also broken when Ryu gets here. So, that's nice help for Ryu, even though Ryu has already gotten incendiary shurikens at this point, so he could also just break them himself. But still, it's nice to have some synergy where Rachel broke this, so Ryu can continue from there. Oh. Did not intend to fall down here, but okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's just continue in this direction. We have already broken the wall for Ryu to use, so we can just continue in this path. Both of them essentially send you to the same area anyway, so... And also, off with his head. Question for the chat. What do you think could have been pitfalls for this game's quality? Okay, if we actually did take the other path that we broke the wall of, we would have ended up over here. Door's locked, cannot be opened from this side. At least Ryu can open it when he goes through the broken wall. Where are you? There you go. Yeah. Okay. Corpse of Ninja, killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. Elixir Delaway, yeah. And I forgot to actually test out the Blade of Ouroboros, so let's test it out in the next fight here. Oh, okay, well, Alma's going that way, so guess we should go that way too. Alright, so, like always, using Ninpo or Sorcery in this case, that's pressing Y and B at the same time. It costs a key slot, but you are invincible while using it. So, come on. Oh! Got to actually equip it. I was thinking, did I do something wrong? Yeah, you have to equip it first. Even though there's nothing else to equip, really. Rachel only gets the Blades of Ouroboros, so they really should have just made this automatically equip, really. Anyway, yeah. And yet again, if hero mode activates, you have infinite of them. So you can just abuse it during hero mode. Do we want anything else from Muramasa? Not really. Like, we can't upgrade the Warhammer, so... Alright. Oh, speaking of which, the implication is actually that Muramasa actually gave Rachel this Warhammer, because there's another Warhammer looking the exact same way right there. So yeah, implying that Muramasa is the one who actually made Rachel's Warhammer. So that's a fun little trivia there. Actually, I just realized there is actually a reason to go to the other side. Well, a reason. I wouldn't say it's, like, the biggest reason, because, well, okay, first of all, I'm just gonna skip these fights. I just want to... First of all, this clock tower has another little fight, I think. Yeah, just more Black Spider Ninjas. You don't need to do this, by the way. You could also just continue on, but I figured I might as well just show all the possibilities of what you can do. Thank you. Alright. Earrings of Fortune. Yeah, okay, so, you can also get these earrings just finding them in the levels, so or in the chapters themselves, so you don't actually have to buy them from Muramasa, but you might as well. If you have the money, you might as well. Yeah, we already fought these guys, no need to do it again. Okay, yeah, so the plot pretty much told us to go the other direction, but if we go this direction instead, first of all, there should have been a chest there that Ryu found the stone tablet, but I guess it just disappears when Rachel's there. We can't go this way, because barbed wire is enough to stop Rachel, I guess. And I guess a little reminder, oh, there's still this door on the lock, there's a skull symbol. We haven't found a skull key yet. But this here is another Fiend challenge. So, yet again, activate the karma window. And we just need to beat 40 of these enemies. Again, Rachel's ultimate technique has such a wide range to it that if you did not kill 2 enemies with it, at the very least you probably killed 2 of them. Which allows you to just chain it after one another. You don't even need to charge a level 2. A level 1 is usually already enough to kill these enemies. Alright. Sometimes you want to use it at the... you want to wait until the last second just so the enemies have a chance to run into it. This works especially against these enemies because these enemies essentially don't have any projectile attacks. Like, there's no way for them to safely attack you and interrupt your charging by using an ultimate technique, by using a projectile attack. They have to run towards you in order to attack you, so as long as you are just far enough away from them, there's not really much they can do against you. At least we're 3/4 of the way there. And yet again, take this as a little exercise in getting the timing right of when to get the on-landing status and charging the ultimate technique. Because it's always useful to kind of have that in mind during battle. No. Also, Rachel's inventory is separate from Ryu, so no matter how much money you get from Rachel, doesn't really help with getting the wooden sword for level 7 for Ryu. At this point, it's just for the wars like the Spirit of the Devils here, which is nice. Yeah, now she can use 2 of those Blazer Ouroboros if she wants to. Alright, door stamps firmly shut. Alright, in that case we should just continue on with the plot then. Corpse of Ninja killed before he was able to complete his mission. He is holding something. Place the spirits are alive. No more of this can be carried, of course. Holding something. Elixir double weight. Alright. At least we can hold more of that. Alright, back to the plot. Have I looted this guy in the meantime? Guess I did. Alright. You know what? Let's not anger the I have to save ghost. Okay, wow, that was unnecessarily long. Alright. You know what? This is the combo. This is the counter attack, by the way. Yeah. Similar thing to Ryu, just press X or Y when the ting happens during the blocking. Actually, yeah, I forgot to mention, Rachel has her own guillotine throw thing. Just using the wind run to jump in their direction and then pressing X and A while in range. It's a similar thing to Ryu's guillotine throw. It's just that instead of throwing against the wall, she kind of throws them to the ground instead. Yeah. Which is also pretty useful against these guys who love to block. There. So yeah. Just a little reminder you can do that as well. Alright, So it's kind of funny how they actually added these barbed wires so Rachel can't get past this, so she can break that thing. I mean, not that it would matter much. When Ryu gets here, he will have the incendiary shuriken, so it's not much of a problem that if this was already broken. Anyway, yeah, there's no scarab here because Ryu already picked it up. Also, who is putting all these barbed wires here? Because they are gone by the time Ryu returns here, so that's kind of interesting to think about. So yeah, Ryu did not get a fight at this Great Bridge Square, but Rachel does. Okay. In terms of lore, actually, the fact that we are fighting the Black Spider Ninjas here actually gives a little hint to the identity of the boss that we are going to fight. Like, they don't outright say it, but if you link this together to Ninja Gaiden 2, it, funnily enough, kind of fits. Alright, so Rachel just defeated these Black Spider Ninjas.
So strong, so beautiful. How wonderful both of you sisters are. The older one has quite a temper. Alma is such a nice and innocent girl. Lord Doku seems to be quite pleased with her.
You bastard!
It seems my evaluation was correct. As always.
Alright, so first of all, Gamoff works with Lord Doku. So, okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is that, yeah, Gamoff is here right after we fought the Black Spider Ninjas. So, funnily enough, that's actually a little hint to what his connections actually are, which are confirmed in the diaries that you find in Ninja Gaiden 2. So, fun little fact there. Either way, the thing with Gamoff is he really loves to shoot his guns at you. Yeah, and some of those bullets actually break your guard, kinda allowing a shot to get in. So you can block, but after a while, it actually kind of bypasses your block. Okay, but okay, so that's what he does when in rage. If you are close to him, he will attack with his knives. Thing is, and sometimes he will do that jump. When he does a jump, it would be a grab attack, which, yeah, also bypasses your block. So you can use the block to kind of stay safe, but Gamoff is kind of like the guy that tries to bypass the block. Thing is, though, the first few slashes of his combo attack, you can block them, which means there's a ting, which means you can counterattack them. Yeah, it's a kick that will break your guard, and you can't counterattack that. So, just try to counterattack the first few slashes. Just learn the timing of that. And if you're successful, you even get him to the ground as a result. There we go. Otherwise, you can try to use other techniques, like, well, you can try to do this grab attack. That's also an option. Or, if you just wait until he has finished his combo, which is either an uppercut with the knives or the kick, if you dodge them, and then you can just attack right after it, which allows you to do the combos that you learned in the meantime. Okay, I mess around a little bit too much, so here's hero difficulty. Yeah, with hero difficulty, you know what? Oh, hero mode. Just use that. Blade of Ouroboros was so powerful it blew his head off, I guess. so Rachel just keeps chasing after Alma. So yeah, I wonder where Alma is heading off to. Funnily enough, I think just by making this entry 4 chapters instead of 3, that's essentially what makes this probably the longest Ninja Gaiden for Beginners entry so far. The things I do for the 69 thing, right? Anyway, Chapter 9, Hidden Underground. A dark underground world leading deeper and deeper. Does the path to Zarkon truly exist? Anyway, yeah, so we beat the Bone Dragon, which reveals this whole hall down there. 5,000 gods. Once I know that. Oh, I've been collecting 3 of these in the meantime. I should actually use them. Okay, so 1 more, and we essentially have a full upgrade to the health bar. We even got 2 of these. I really forgot to actually use these, haven't I? Yeah, if you have collected all the 5,000 gods throughout the previous chapters, funnily enough, this chapter will give you quite a lot of health upgrades, which is for good reason, because of the boss of this chapter. It's almost like a chapter-long version of the whole thing where, oh, you're getting a lot of health items suddenly. Curious, isn't it? Okay, that's it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we are still going to face those ghouls, zombies. So let's see. Yeah, we are going to face those zombies, so it's still nice to have the Figorian flails. Yeah, I just want to save beforehand because I do want to show where we actually start in this chapter, just as a warning, if anything. No, sheesh. There we go. Okay. Alright, so a little PSA for anyone who plays this game. The chapter starts over here. And you do notice the camera looked all the way down there. And thus you think, okay, maybe I should just jump down there. Don't do it. Because, first of all, you would there's no autosave. Any saves that you make are just the saves that you make on these on those statues. If you actually die here right now, you will end up back in Rachel's chapter before you fought Gamoth. And yeah, I don't know if this is a beginner's trap or just an oversight, but yeah, back up there, I did say just jump down and just land over here. Don't jump down here because I don't know why they decided to make this a bottomless pit. But yeah, this is a beginner's trap. Don't jump down there. That just immediately kills you. And because you did not get the chance to save, you will end up back in Rachel's chapter before you fight Gamoth. So yeah, a little bit of a design flaw. Figured I'd just point that out as a little PSA there. And this is why I went all the way down here just to save. Alright. Oh, oops. Okay. Okay, well. Fortunately, I did land here. Okay, so. This is where we were before. The giant metal plate has now been crushed and the bone dragon can be found down there. If you if you fall down here, you are missing out on a lot of money, actually. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to okay. No, the other one. Yeah, turn title screen and restart the save, because the best thing you can do actually is to actually return back to the elevator. Because remember all those ambushes or fiend challenges where you fight 40 of those enemies, right? Well, okay. Well, if you return down the elevator, it's a little bit of a ways down. Still, you do get a reward for it. Yeah, whatever. Right. Yeah, so at the elevator itself, there's nothing here. But still, we want to go down here. And I guess Ryu just decides to do some jogging while he's waiting. Alright, at least we see the door there. Alright, there we go. So, first of all, those zombies are back here. We have already dealt with this fight, but after having learned how to deal with these guys, you can almost see them as a gold mine of money rather than actual enemies. Yeah, that's Man of Wealth, so we can get more money from that. Yeah, again, it's just back and forth. First there's an archer on one side, then there's an archer on the other side. And I guess because it's hero difficulty, either that or because it's ninja dog difficulty, there's only two of them, so just deal with those two first, and then you can just farm these enemies with the Glory Flail's ultimate technique yet again. You know what, another thing with the range of these enemies, actually. I'm pretty sure one roll or one jump from Ryu, that's usually the right length to stay in range of them for an ultimate technique, while also being outside their attack range. Like, okay, just gonna jump once. There, okay. Here. I'm in front of him, jump once. There. That dodges a single attack from them, which is, considering how slow they are, that's enough in order to hit him with an ultimate technique. All the way over there, buddy. Alright. Alright. So, how much do we have right now? We have 40,000, alright? That's already a respectable amount. This is gonna be a lot more, though. Because this is a Fiend challenge of nothing but these zombies. Sure, there's a little time limit there, but you don't need to reach that time limit. You just need to beat 40 of these zombies. And considering how much money they give you, yeah, as long as you're just behind this wall so the archer cannot hit you, there's barely anything they can do against you, and you can just reap the rewards of the essences you get from the ultimate technique. And the karma counter just gives you at least a little bit of a timeline of how much you still have to go through before you beat this ambush/fiend challenge. Another advantage to all this is, well, this place is a little bit cramped, which means all the enemies, they funnel towards you, which allows the Figorian Flail to hit more of them at the same time. And mostly as long as you just focus on having the final slash hit as many of them as you can, that will raise the amount of kills per ultimate technique by a lot. We're already over halfway there. And Ryu just decided to target the chains for some reason. So how much money do we actually need for the wooden sword to reach level 7? I don't know the exact amount. I do know that going from level 6 to level 7 necessitates 40,000. We already have 40,000, but we still needed to get from level 5 to level 6 first, which, if I remember correctly, would be 30,000. So we already have enough for the level up of level 5 to 6. Not enough yet for level 6 to 7. That is. Well, I mean, okay, so 60,000. We just need, yeah, we need 70,000 in order to have enough for both leveling up. So yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, yeah, there are 5 enemies left. Those 5 enemies are probably all the archers. So, yeah. Just go one by one. If the archers are on their own, there's really not much they can do, really. As long as you just attack them the moment they're there. And again, this combo of X, Y, and then Y when you're in the air. There's really not much they can do. They're just stunned by the attack. And because they're so slow, they will die before they can even do anything. And because we have beaten a challenge, we get something for it. 5,000 gods. Like I said, we are actually getting a lot of health upgrades in this chapter. Which is nice, but kind of suspicious. Also, how much do we have now? 70,000. So we have enough to upgrade the wooden sword to level 6 and then to level 7. Okay, now we can continue with the plot. Now we have enough money to essentially break the game. That said, we cannot upgrade the wooden sword to level 7 in this chapter. It's specifically the next chapter when we can finally upgrade the wooden sword to level 7. Which makes it kind of funny, almost like they did that on purpose for the upcoming boss. Well, I say that, but I don't think that weapon would actually help with this boss. Because the fully leveled up wooden sword is still a bit slower than the dragon sword, and you actually need speed in order to beat the boss of this chapter. Also, Ryu is invincible while he's climbing the ladder, so that's one way to kind of funnel all these ghosts together. Alright. Well, okay, Muramasa is here. We might as well just upgrade the wooden sword. Yeah, 30,000, as I said. I'm sure we can get 40,000 in the next chapter if we need to, so we might as well just upgrade the Lunar right now, because here's something interesting about the Lunar when it's level 3. First of all, it changes its appearance again. But the funny thing about the Lunar at level 3 is that suddenly the Lunar counts as a blunt weapon that can actually break walls now. So, yeah. I don't know why this would make it that different, but yeah. You can break walls with it now, which you could not do originally. But the real reason why we want the Lunar to be level 3 is because the Lunar the Lunar at level 2 always had the ability to do the Izuna drop, which is X and then triangle while in the air. Except the Lunar didn't really have a lot of moves to bring both the enemy and Ryu into the air at the same time so that you can actually do the Izuna drop. So you can do it, but it's a bit difficult to do it. The Lunar at level 3, however, has this additional attack, which is forward triangle. Forward Y, Y. So first, it was only this. If you press Y again, oh, look at that. Ryu is rising into the air. So, if you just get the enemy and you in the air with this attack, then you can just press X and Y to do the Izuna drop. You could not do this with level 2. That's specifically a level 3 Lunar thing. Alright. First of all, here's the crack that has water coming out of it. The wall's been cracked by the impact and water trickles in from outside. If the crack were any wider, this whole area would be flooded. It'd be a shame that happened, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah. We can continue in that door, but don't forget to grab this scarab over here. Alright, there's a lot of archers here. I equipped the Lunar just to kind of show the capabilities of the Lunar, but really, I recommend going with the Forgotten Flails again, because this move is still a very good way to kill them. That said, okay, here's a funny thing about these guys. They are too heavy. Okay. Maybe I should have killed this one first. Okay. Yeah, okay. These enemies normally would be too heavy in order to launch them in the air, so Ryu cannot actually Izuna drop them. But, funnily enough, if you do the uppercut at them, they will have that stagger animation. When they are in that stagger animation, you can do the uppercut again, and then you launch them. So, funny how that's a thing. You still can't Izuna drop them, you can only use the Blade of Inertia on them, but it's just funny how that's a little thing you can do with Dragon Sword. Alright, yeah, 16 now, alright. Map the Hidden Underground. It's nice that everybody's here making maps of this thing. I wonder who even survived to make all these maps. Anyway, here's the Life of the Gods, which would be the last Life of the Gods that we needed in order to get another health upgrade. Again, it's getting a little bit suspicious now, isn't it? The amount of life upgrades we're getting. Okay. Okay. What you can do, you can just jump down here immediately if you want to. But if you go over this bridge here... Look, you are going to fall down here anyway. You might as well just jump down just so that it's you going down on your own accord. That's just how I look at things. Also, yeah, besides the whole Figorian Flails thing, this whole combo with the Dragon Sword and the Windmill Shuriken, that's still something you can do against them if you don't want to do the whole charging thing. And again, I'm doing all the roll jumping thing, because that's still the best way to essentially move around during a battle. Well, here you can see the effect of the Dragon Sword's ult technique on these guys. So yeah, it's you will almost get the same result as the Figorian Flail. But really, the Figorian Flail is just better against a crowd of them, mostly because of that last slash. Also, the whole thing with the canceling these combos, it's a good way to kind of get used to the rhythm of Ryu slashes, because there's a little bit of a rhythm to it. Yeah, so if you just have that rhythm in mind, that's also a good way to kind of time when to actually throw the Windmill Shuriken. Yeah, something to keep in mind. Door won't budge. It seems to be held in place by a mechanism connected to the red and blue orbs next to the door. Alright, and we have a red and blue door. Alright, let's check this one first. No. When underwater, pay close attention to the breath gauge. If you run out of breath, your strength will soon be sapped. Yeah, so if your breath meter is empty, your health starts draining. Where did Ayane throw this from, though? That's interesting. Okay, here's Spirit Elixir. Alright. Yeah, so you can dive down. And there, on the left, that is the breath meter. So, why would you want to dive down? Well, that is for collectible, in fact, because you can't just water run your way to these guys. Okay, you can do that. However, if you dive down... There's a scarab. So that's that. Alright, so pressing the red button unlocks that part of the door. Kinda figures that on the blue door we would be able to unlock the other part. Yeah, sure. Okay, but yeah, I've been using the XXX combo with the windmill shuriken this whole time. Still, I do recommend to try to get used to doing the uppercut like this. Whether it's forward, Y, or X, Y. I do recommend trying to get used to that. If only because it'll only help you in the long run for the rest of the franchise, really. Because even all the way to Ninja Gaiden 4, XY will always be essentially your standard way to do a launcher. And as established in the meantime, being in the air is quite an advantage for Ryu in these games. Yes? Alright. Alright, well, this is not a watery thing. We do get a bunch of... We do get infinite refills on arrows here. Wonder why. Alright, first of all, let's get rid of all these ghosts first. There we go. Oh wow, that was a combo right there. Anything else? Okay, so one way to deal with these guys is to take cover from with one of these pillars. And, well, we do get infinite refills on bows here because of the guy at the start. So, yeah. Use the cover to shoot them with the arrows. That's one way to deal with them. Here's another way to deal with them, which is probably not the intended way, but it's funny to show it. Okay, so remember that... well, first of all, here's a scarab. Same area as the other thing. It's almost symmetrical in a way. But, yeah. Remember that if you throw a shuriken, you gain a bit of height. You also gain a bit of height by pressing Y while in the air. So, if you do it correctly, just wall run here. Oh, and you don't get hit by the arrow. Hey, look at that. Because the Y attack tries to hit him, and thus Ryu will kinda move himself in his direction, thus skipping the entire puzzle. Of course, you have to be a little bit precise, but yeah. So yeah, that's one way you can deal with this. That said, let's actually show the intended way. Even though I already reached that part, I could have pressed that button anyway, but alright. Question for the chat. How important is story and or storytelling in video games to you? Anyway, this is the intended way of what you're supposed to do. Yeah, let's equip the bow again. Okay, first of all, if you use the bow against these things, it slows them down. Alright. Still, how are we able to pass all this? Well, there's another thing here to shoot. Alright then. So yeah. This is mostly a timing thing. Just try to move forward. Oh, shit. And not be hit by the thing like that. And also, if you just need a little bit more time to get past them, yet again, you can just use the bow and arrow to slow it down. Like this. There. There we go. Yeah, so that's the intended way to get through this. So now we can get through this door. Yes, indeed. Thank you for the thumbs up. Alright, so, yeah, okay. I'm gonna equip the windmill shuriken again. That is because, we are going to face a boss. Is that the boss that I've been hyping up this whole time? No. This is just a boss in between. And it's not even a new boss, actually. We've faced this one before. Oh. How are you getting along with that bow? Well, getting along fine, Ayane, but thank you for asking. And also thank you for the rations. Here's Hydrakabus again. So yeah, essentially the same way how you fought them the first time. Use the Flying Swallow, and then cancel the Flying Swallow with the Windmill Shuriken in order to detach the tentacles more easily. Yeah, like that. And yet again, the tentacles, they drop blue essences, which essentially gives you a free ultimate technique to use against it. Here, just charge the ultimate technique because the blue essences are there. You could also use them to heal you because blue essences is the healing one. Also, for variety, instead of the Dragon Sword, you could also just use the Vigorian Flail. It's essentially the same thing at this point. Because the Vigorian Flail also has the Red Hot Iron brand. Which just gives the same result, really. Yay, more lives, 1,000 gods. It almost feels like that room from Fatal Frame 1, as if it's just made for anxiety. Like, why are you giving me this much? Okay. Okay. So, if you just jump down instead of having the cutscene happen that that made you fall down, the bridge would still be there. Oh, is that useful? Not really, because on both sides, you can just wall jump your way up because of the thing unlocking. So really, you're not missing much by still having the bridge. Alright, Jewel of Demon Seal. Which, a jewel that shines dark purple, it can be used to increase the potency of certain input techniques. Alright, so, you can't upgrade the Art of Fire wheel. You can upgrade the Art of the Inferno. So, you can do that, if you want. Or, we are in fact going to get a new Ninpo pretty soon. Actually, the next room, even. So, if you prefer to upgrade that, you can keep the Jewel of Demon Seal for that one. So I'll just get that first before I make a decision. Yeah, it's not just oh wow, I actually got his head off. Okay, yeah, it's not just the launcher that the uppercut that makes them stagger, so you can uppercut them in the air. The Flying Swallow can kind of do that too, if it properly connects. Sometimes it doesn't properly connect, and instead you cut their heads off, which is also a nice thing to add to it. Okay. That's it. Is there any other reason to cut off their heads, even though they still seem to be attacking? Well, funnily enough, if they lose their heads, they are blind, essentially. So, it would not know where exactly it's supposed to move to hit you. So that's a fun little trivia there. It kind of tries to aimlessly attack. You can just essentially do the same thing as we did with the Figorian Flail. Like, them being slow is universal, doesn't matter what weapon you use, and all weapons just charge the same amount in order to perform it. The only thing is that the final slash of the Dragon Sword is not as powerful as the Figorian Flails. This guy just tries to aimlessly attack. Same, dude, same. Alright, so. Corpse of a ninja killed before he was able to complete his mission. He's holding something. Art of the Ice Storm. Alright, so we now have a different ninpo. So, yeah. Our fire wheels gives you fire wheels around you. Art of the Inferno is one giant fireball. Art of the Ice Storm allows Ryu to quickly change the atmosphere around him, creating a whirlwind containing shards of ice. You know what? Let's just show it off here. So it's kind of a multi-hit attack. So, with that in mind, which should we upgrade? Art of the Inferno or Art of the Ice Storm? Both are fine for the boss, actually. So, really, it's just personal preference. Do you want a big fireball or do you want a multi-hitter with the Ice Storm? Both are fine. I would say, personally, I prefer the Art of the Inferno. But, yeah, if you prefer the Ice Storm, that's also an option. But at least we just showed off what the Art of the Ice Storm is. Okay. I think I should just use normal shurikens. Normal shurikens are probably better to get rid of bats, only because any single shuriken kills multiple of them, and you can't really guarantee you will hit multiple of them in a single windmill shuriken. Just pointing out again, as long as you are in the air, Ryu will automatically throw multiple shurikens. You don't need to mash the shuriken button. You just press B once while in the air. There's a lot of bats here, come to think of it. Like, a surprisingly amount of bats. Alright. One of the mysterious dog statues that stand in the tomb. Indeed. Alright. Okay. Seems like something we want to grab. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so. We have to lower that thing. Oh, wow, there are still bats here. That's interesting. Well, if they're gonna keep coming. Okay, so. You can wall run up here. Okay. That brings that thing down. But this thing is still too high for Ryu right now. The solution, to get rid of all the bats, the solution is to press on this button to kind of switch those two around. Then you can wall jump up here, and there you go. I guess the trigger is just on this floor right here, so as long as you're on this elevated floor, you can just grab it. So yeah, first of all, there's a statue here, and there's a key. Wolf, deity of wisdom. Alright then, so we have one of the deity statues. The first one, which is a wolf. And a skull key. Okay, we can open up that one door in Tyrone. Use skull key. And fortunately there's a skull door here, just so you can open up that thing. Boy, Ryu is just lowering the entire population of bats in this game, isn't he? I mean, I guess I could just leave them alone, like... Anyway, oh, what do you know? The cracked wall with the water, it floods the place. I guess, set up and pay off, I guess. Alright, so, first of all, you can dive down and find Muramasa's statue here. So, okay, that's one thing. Another thing, there is a scarab down here. So grab it. And also, you can use this elevator to continue with the plot. That said, I recommend to dive down here first. Why? Because we are essentially heading towards the boss and thus the end of the stream once we go up that elevator. So, it would be nice if we get a chance to properly save here, don't we? Fortunately, there's a save statue here. And also, there's this thing here. It looks like just a simple stone platform, but given the height of the chamber, it is possible it is some sort of elevator. Right now, however, it shows no sign of moving. Alright. Interesting. Yeah, it does look like it should reach up there, but it doesn't work right now. Alright? Well, it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, as I mentioned, we are essentially about to reach the end of this stream because we're heading towards the boss of this chapter. But not before we get some shenanigans with the monk first. Okay, you know what? At this point, there we go. Let's just, he's gonna drop all these guys. Alright. Love me some shenanigans, indeed. Alright. So. On the last page, there's a hastily scribbled message. Cannot believe it. Someone has opened the safe. I wonder how. The book of the eons I had received from the Emperor himself was stolen. In order to prevent this from ever happening again, I shall change the combination. The date of my daughter's birthday should suffice. At the end of the message, there are notes reading right, left, right, left. Alright, well, we can just solve it like that. But if you really want to know what the code itself is, just read it again. The message was found on one of the previous pages. It is the 14th day of the 10th month. Aha, okay. My beloved daughter's birthday. I remember birth as if it were yesterday. What a glorious event that was. Alright. This guy is terrible at security awareness. A safe, it can be opened by dialing the correct combination. I wonder what the correct combination is. Alright, going right, going left, going right, going left. There we go. So, it's funny that we get a single Life of the Gods here, knowing that we just completed the entire set, but, I mean, I'm not complaining. Alright, so. Question for the chat. Is this game's music something you would listen to outside the game? Yes for me. Alright. What does Ayane have to say here? This place reeks with the stench of a powerful fiend. Do not let it overcome you, and be careful. So yeah, even Ayane is like, okay, please be careful. Alright. Okay, so the boss battle will start the moment we go this way. If we, however, jump down here. What if we just try to exit this place? The door is being held shut by a mysterious force. This is the same kind of text that appears in Fatal Frame, so that's a funny little reference here. Alright. So, for this boss, my recommendations. You go to the library for a little challenge. Fair, I might as well do that now. Sure, it delays the boss a little bit. I figured I could have just done this in the next chapter, which would be the next entry, but you know what? Let's just show this, I guess. So yeah, this is yet again another Fiend challenge. Because this is hero difficulty alongside Ninja Dog mode, it is just 40 enemies. Still, we might as well. Anyway, thank you for joining. We are about to end this stream, actually, but after defeating the boss. Okay. Again, goes to show how the Zuna drop is pretty useful, especially because Ryu keeps staying in the air. And it is pretty much the best way to just get through all these enemies as quickly as possible. Especially because the Izuna drop itself is capable of hitting the enemies below you. Like that. Does give you 2 kills for the price of 1. But yeah, if you have trouble with the Izuna drop, you can still just roll into enemies and use the X attack. That's still an option. But yeah, still my recommendation is to eventually learn to do the Izuna drop. Also, don't forget, you also have incendiary shurikens, which can also be useful to use against those monks. Because funnily enough, they actually move with those monks, even if they teleport away. So it's kind of funny how they actually bring the incendiary shurikens along with them. We do have a limited amount of those incendiary shurikens, so I am probably gonna run out. Yeah, I have run out right now, so just gonna use the windmill shuriken here now. And of course, this is still an option. Just XXXB, XXXB. Best option is still this. But if it's too difficult for you, this is still an option. This is more than 40. That's interesting. Maybe it's 60 this time. Because on normal difficulty, 60 would be the standard amount of enemies during a Fiend challenge. Maybe for some reason this challenge... Maybe for some reason this challenge is still set to normal compared to the other ones. Alright. Oh well, at least he's nice enough to give us a red essence, so we have a full key meter again. And yet again with the Flying Swallow, use the Wind Run in order to automatically jump in their direction, which makes the Flying Swallow a lot more likely to properly connect. Alright. Yeah, so I kind of figured I would do this before. Or not. I figured I'd do this during the next entry, just at the start of the next entry. But yeah, you know what? Might as well just do it now. Because we get a Spirit of the Devils. Alright. With all that said, I am going to switch over to the Shuriken, because none of the projectiles will work anyway. So you might as well use the Shuriken in order to properly reposition yourself during the fight. So yeah, that's the reason why I am switching over to the Shuriken, not because I can damage the boss, but because it's just the best way to reposition during the fight itself. Anyway, we had all that buildup of Alma in Rachel's chapter. Alright, like always, when a boss, at the start of a boss, instead of immediately trying to attack them, just try to kind of study them, alright? So she has these projectiles, where first she summons them, then they start firing, alright? So that's one attack she can do. She also has a combo attack, if you are in range. Okay, so, yeah. That were her attacks when she's on the ground. These are her attacks when she's in the air. Funnily enough, similar to Ryu, which has attacks based on whether he's in the air or on the ground. She has a kick, which brings her back to the ground. So yeah, she switches back and forth between the two statuses. So yeah. Besides the combo attack, she also has the horizontal kick, which is actually, yeah, that one, which is actually a grab move. If she connects with it, she will essentially do the same thing that Rachel does when she does a grab move, which is to slam you to the ground. So yeah, funny how the two sisters happen to fight similar to one another. Alright, so what makes Alma so difficult for a lot of first-time players? Well, because most of the moves that you will do, there's like a random chance whether she will dodge them or actually get hit by them, which gives them the wrong feedback of what actually works. So what you are supposed to do is to use a Flying Swallow on her in order to stun her. However, sometimes she just dodges the Flying Swallow, so you would think, oh, okay, so I guess I did something wrong, I shouldn't use the Flying Swallow. No, you are supposed to use the Flying Swallow, just have to keep using it until it actually properly connects. So, yeah, just gonna show it here. Oh, no, okay, have to actually be in range. There we go, okay, so this hits, and then she's stunned, like this. That's your chance to do more damage to her. So, let's try again. Okay, now you actually have to show you actually dodging it, Alma. I'm trying to demonstrate here. Okay. Come on, Alma. You're supposed to be, like, the toughest obstacle for people. So please just... Oh, wow. Come on, Alma. Sheesh, okay. Well, just take my word for it. Sometimes she just outright dodges the Flying Swallow, thus making people... That's interesting. She's stuck. Oh, that's probably because she's in between those pillars. That's interesting. I've never had this happen before. The toughest boss in this game, everybody! Alright, fine. But yeah, when she is stunned like this... Funny how I can just take the time to explain this. When she is stunned like this, you can just do any attack. The best attack to do against her is, in fact, the Blade of Nerti, which is the Izuna drop, which is not an Izuna drop because it's just the one that happens if you can't grab an attack, grab her. Because your launcher actually launches her in order to get her in the air so you can do the Blade of Nerti. Like so. Oh, now you dodge it. Alright. Alright, let's just wait a little bit. It still connects. Oh well. There you go. Yeah, the Blade of Nerti is probably the best way to damage her when she is stunned. And there we go, she finally dodged it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a random chance whether she... Oh, yeah. It's a random chance whether she actually dodges the Flying Swallow or actually gets hit by it. So really, just keep trying it until finally it connects. Yeah, and when that beam of light appears over her, that's when she will try to grab you with her psychic powers, I guess. Okay, but... There we go. Okay, so, here's another thing, though. If you are having trouble doing the Flying Swallow, even though I have pointed out how you can just use the Wind Run and all that, this is where Ninpo is actually very useful, because the Art of the Fire Wheel also has a chance to just stun her. So... There. Even does a lot of damage. So yeah. You have multiple options, in fact. Might as well just show the REI Storm, which can do a similar thing, but you kind of have to be in range for it. Sometimes she just dodges it, though. Ice Storm actually is more useful... Oh. Ice Storm is actually more useful to use in place of the Izuna drop, like this. But, okay. Now you don't see much of it, but yeah, that's also an option. So yeah, Alma, she's the first greater fiend that Ryu actually was able to defeat, because he was not able to defeat Doku. This is the first time he was able to defeat a greater fiend, which would be Alma. But that's why, because Alma is a greater fiend, they make it a big deal to actually make her pretty difficult. But yet again, this is mostly an information thing. If you know what you're supposed to do, she's actually not that hard. Well, Rachel, you did say you were here to kill her. Well, that was your chance to kill her, Rachel.
Do it. I can't kill my own sister.
I'll just let all the cutscenes play out until I can save, and then I'll end the stream. Because again, this game does not have an autosave. The saves that you do with the statues, that's the only saves that you actually have. Yet again, yeah, I don't think I'll ever get Master Ninja rank because of these Ninja Gaiden for Beginners, because I just take the time to explain everything. We also got an enhancement, but again, I'm not going to use these enhancements just in case if someone wants to use, wants to play the PlayStation 3 version instead.
Request full alert throughout Taiwan. Dispatch order has been received from Taiwan High Command. This is a Code Orange situation. Set up a curfew for all civilians. Request available information on the target. No new information at this time.
So, the greater fiends have a soul, don't they?
Yes, they are the ones who retain a spirit even after becoming fiends. There are only 3 of them. Doku, my sister, and another who guards the Emperor.
It's not safe for you to be around me. You should go now.
natural. I should kill you now for the pain you've inflicted on Alma, but instead, I shall use you to make her even stronger.
It is hilarious how Ryu's whole goal to find Doku, he could have found Doku right now if he just turned back. Right now.
It's a shame. Such a fine specimen has to go to waste. You might have become more powerful than even Alma, but no longer.
So yeah, in terms of power levels, Rachel is not able to beat Doku here. When she reappears in Ninja Gaiden 2, or Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, or Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, she will actually beat a different Greater Fiend, which is of the same level as Doku, which kind of shows her growth in strength. Anyway, Chapter 10, Tyron Under Alert. The battle with Rachel's sister, the Greater Fiend Alma, ended without a victor. However, the aftermath of the battle has caused the Vigor army to be deployed. Alright, let's just read this. No, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to this so that we have things to go through in the next entry. And just gonna save another, which will be saved over by the next chapter. Alright, and that would be this entry of Ninja Gaiden for beginners. So, are there any questions left before I end this stream? We have gotten through 4 chapters, which is a lot compared to the previous entries. But still, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to live with myself if I was unable to actually get the 6 and 9 together, you know? So, yeah. These were chapters 6 to 9. Yeah, if there are no more questions, I'm going to end the stream. Next Monday, we are going to continue for, let's see, what are the next chapters that I had planned? Let's see. Yeah. Next chapters will be chapters 10 and 12. That's just 3 chapters, which is not a lot compared to today's entry. But yeah, 10 to 12. That's going to be the next ones in the coming Sunday. Besides that, wait, I said Sunday. Monday. Coming Monday for Ninja Gaiden for Beginners. Because Sunday, I'm going to continue with Fatal Frame 2 Remake. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm just sticking with this Tecmo universe, aren't I? Well, okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's the plan. Besides that, Wednesday is Game Trade, yet again. So, in which Land Prowl Kopaka is going to play Devil May Cry 3. So, yeah, bunch of things to look forward to. But with all that in mind, with this I will end the stream. Remember, if you strive to be better than your enemies, be better for your friends, and be better than yourself. Take care, and see ya.